Stay alive, stay alive. I got to keep it together, keep it together.
All right, everyone, and welcome back to another Telcom Digital Gaming League. I'm Reddit, and joining me is Succubus. Succubus, how you doing? What game are we casting today, and what's up?
We are casting Damage Control versus Pulse Reborn. Now, both these teams have lost in the series this far, so they've got one more life left in this cup. I believe Pulse Reborn lost 2-0 to Veneration Dota, and then I believe DC lost. Let me just double check my facts here to. I believe it was Ventus.
Cool. So between between these two teams, though.
It was APG Academy.
Ah, I was at APG Academy. I'm actually quite impressed with them. They've actually not been doing too badly, and that's my phone, which I forgot to switch to silent. Sorry. But between the two of these two teams, Damage Control is of course a Masters team. Pulse Reborn, is this the Masters Pulse team, or is this one of the other teams?
Now was the Masters team. I believe most of them are exactly the same. There are some new people here, but I mean, so many roster changes in the Masters this far.
I know.
So many swap arounds. It's hard to keep up with these people these days.
Yeah, I just keep up with one team, but we shall not name them right now. But I mean, looking at these two teams, it's quite sad that one of the Masters teams is going to fall out, basically after tonight, and this is going to be a best of three. Am I correct?
Yes, this is a best of three, but it is a double elimination, so they've only got 2 lives for each cup. There's another cup after this, but I'm pretty sure that if one of them lose tonight, they will be eliminated, as it says in the rules. I'll read it for you guys in one moment. So it says here, a double elimination event. Each team will get 2 lives, lose twice, and you're done. The event will span over the course of 2 weeks, starting on the 3rd of April and finishing on the 16th. So there is another cup after this. I'm not sure if they lose more than once in this first cup, if they go on to the next one, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way. We'll have to see.
Well, looking at the draft so long, actually, first of all, it's going to be sad to see one of the Masters teams go, but that's why this whole system was brought in, to actually give up-and-coming teams that deserve the spot an opportunity to get there. Because we saw last year where the current Bravado team, old XD team, and old Energy team were one of the top 3 teams in the country, and they could not take part in any Masters event at that point because they weren't invited. So having this opportunity to get those breakthrough players, get those new teams as well. There's a couple amazing new teams that, if they don't get picked up, like some of them have, will actually have the chance to play in the Masters final.
That's definitely why I'm loving this community shield, because we have 4 of the best teams from the Emerald Showdown and 4 best teams from the Sapphire League Showdown. So you have First Division and Prem Division teams now competing against the lower 4 Masters teams. So it'd be nice to get some of those teams that are new, that have the potential to be in a Master slot, to actually get the opportunity to do it, which is something new. We haven't seen it this far.
Yeah, I mean, so there's been an Emerald, there's been a Sapphire. What's the next one going to be? Diamond or Turquoise? Or
This is basically, there's an event in May and then there's one in July. So yeah, we'll definitely be able to see them. They'll compete for those 2 spots, basically, that 2 spots left in the Masters this far. So yeah, we'll see them at those 2 LAN events, and I'm pretty excited to maybe see a completely new Masters lineup. I mean, obviously the top 6 will still be there, but this is to get into the last 2 spots, which is pretty exciting for some teams that generally would never actually have an option to do it.
Yep. Well, the draft's actually gone it was underway for quite a while. Let's quickly jump straight in, and I just want to say it's going to be fun casting with Succubus. I normally solo cast or cast with one or two other people. So I'm really looking forward to today. But let's jump straight into the draft so far. Alchemist being banned out, Slaughter, two initiators. Alk, of course, we saw at DAC what happened there with Alchemist just completely dominating. I think it was IG versus it wasn't EG, but I can't remember where IG was so far ahead and Alk literally gave out 4 Aghanim Scepters and brought that team back. We do know that is possible, and it just works so well.
That's what an alchemist does, though.
Yeah, never mind the moonshots. Never mind giving a Crystal Maiden a moonshot. Just say. On top of that, Pulse Reborn decided to ban out the Beastmaster as well as the Juggernaut. What do you think about those bans specifically from Pulse's side?
Well, Beastmaster makes a lot of sense. It is, a valid off-lane hero. I mean, especially with early Blink Dagger into Necronomicons, he can do a lot of work on the map, and especially for his vision tools, the Hawk, the ball is absolutely ridiculous in lane as well. That slow is absolutely retarded. But I must say the Juggernaut though has been a pretty viable and strong carry in the current meta. Something that can fight early, that scales very well late game, and does very well against a lot of these lineups, and especially, with things like a PA, a Lifestealer, that type of thing. You can't just rage, your passive gets cancelled, it goes right through that. So very, very good hero, and also it can split push pretty efficiently, and it works with most lineups in the current meta. So definitely a very understandable and good ban to have here.
Definitely. So I have boosted Succubus quite a bit. The guys on stream were saying she was quite soft. Please let me know. Okay, now I can. So I've boosted her. Please keep me updated. Let me know if it's loud enough. Otherwise, I'll just turn myself soft, and then you guys just have to turn everything up a lot higher. We have to go through the drafts quite a bit faster right now. So Lifestealer, Rubik, Ricky being picked up. Ricky, once again, we saw IG, we saw Baboka playing that hero, picking up three Aquilas. It was just ridiculous. Everyone was saying it's not a meta pick. After that, they were saying, yes, it is.
I think Ricky is still a very viable meta pick. I mean, Ricky's been at one stage, but almost just about a year ago, maybe even less than that, he was the new bounty hunter, essentially.
Yeah.
People were picking him up like that. And for me, yes, he doesn't have the track, but he's got the blink strike. He has the silence. His new ulti, the Trickster Trade, it's so amazing, especially in a team fight where you have some lockdown. Ricky can be pretty annoying in the map, and that inverse tax is never fun for a support.
Definitely.
Buying the sentries, buying the dust, all those sort of things. It's just not fun. But what is nice is that it does force out Ricky to get that diffusal blade, so you can purge the dust off him. Because I don't know if you guys know this, if you do dust Ricky after his ulti, if the dust stays on him, basically he does get revealed after his ulti does way off. But it's just not nice for a support to keep doing that. Keep having to buy dust, keep having to buy sentries. That people are gonna have to pitch in, get a gem. If you lose gem, well, you know what? With Invis heroes, you pretty much lose your map. So yeah, it's still, for me, it's still a valid hero. It still can rotate and gank and be absolute nuisance in every lane. So yeah, for me, Ricky's still, it's very meta. I don't know what people are saying not meta. It really is. It really is.
Well, some people on stream are saying the audio is fine now, other people are saying it's not. Let me know, guys, and then I'll just boost it a little bit more. Considering there's a Templar Assassin on as well now, as well as a Nyx Assassin, that's 3 inverse heroes. Pulse, Reborn, the supports are really going to suffer. They're really going to struggle early game with the rotations coming through from the inverse heroes themselves. They're going to lack in some core items because they will have to, as you called it, the inverse tax.
Yeah, what's interesting for me though is to pick a Templar Assassin against an Invoker. It's an interesting thing because Invoker has quite a few ways to burn through that refraction pretty damn fast. All he needs to really do as well is get someone with an Orb of Venom to harass her in lane as well. But throw a few cold snaps, get the Forge Spirits to right click her and get the shield down. It's not that hard for an Invoker against a Templar Assassin. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but it's an interesting pick against it.
Cool. So, Succubus, can you just continue on talking? I'm just going to open up the stream on my phone because I don't want to open up on my PC, otherwise there's going to be a loop back. I just want to hear how you sound.
There is a 2-minute delay on the stream, just remember that. So if you've boosted me 30 seconds ago, it will only...
No, it was a bit longer than that. But yeah, okay, well, let's get the game going and then, of course...
But, yeah, if we still have a problem 5 minutes in, we'll definitely try to change it again. But This to me is a pretty nasty team here. We have some heavy rotators and gankers. I mean, Ricky Rubik by themselves can rotate very, very easily and quickly from early levels, level 1, level 2. And Next Assassin, obviously, very good roamer rotator. He's obviously going to be in the off lane, but I mean, when he starts getting his levels, that level 6, Disruptor's not going to have fun on that map. But they do have a lot of catch for these heroes. I mean, they've got X-Master Spot, plus they've got Glimpse, so you're not getting away. And then to add injury to insult, you have the Stampede as well as the Blink Dagger that's inevitably coming out from the Saint of Warner. Plus you have the Invoker initiation. Then you have the global presence of the Spectre. So Pulse Reborn draft, very, very good. A lot of lockdown, a lot of catch, and of course, beautiful late game. It's going to be very hard for damage control. I mean, they've got early game presence, mid game presence, and late game. Very good draft.
It is a very good draft. I still think that the early game specifically goes through to DC.
Yeah, definitely with the Ricky rotating everywhere, the Rubik that can, TP in, lift you back, that type of thing. But
I mean, the live stealer bombs coming in with 2
the TA, yeah.
In the TA, in the Ricky, in the Nyx itself. The early to mid game, I think, should. If the early game goes the way of DC, mid game should also go the way of DC, late game should go the way of Pulse Reborn. However, let's quickly introduce everyone here from the side of, well, you can introduce everyone from the side of Pulse.
On the side of Pulse, we're going to have the only Cloud playing that mid invoker. Fenya will be on the Spectre. Blank will be on your Kunkka. Deathy on the Centaur Warner going on that off lane. And last but not least, Patos on the Disruptor. I must say, Patos' showing on the Disruptor has been absolutely brilliant in the Shield. Yeah, he's been playing the Disruptor really, really well. His team's kind of been falling short with the follow-up. So hopefully they've, got that down this time. They've certainly got a lot of catch and lockdown for it.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm just quickly. I only have the one screen set up because I've just moved house, so I only have the one screen set up. So I'm continuously minimizing to check what the stream is saying to make sure, of course, that everything is fine. But of course, I'll check in around a minute or so because I've boosted even more and just turned my headphone volume a little bit down. So it should be coming through very good right now. On the side of DC, it is going to be Nick on the Lifestealer, Joram Barnard on the Rubik. Mid is going to be Math. I'm just going to call him Math from now on. Are you okay with that?
The TA is Maple. TA is Maple.
No. His name is Math.
His name is Math. Okay.
Okay. Stunt on the offlane Nyx, and last but not least, DGP on the Ricky. Roaming around, just quickly roaming through mid and getting a good ward down here as well, to make sure that the TA, of course, can't stack anything up early on.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. He can literally just say, "Hi, Invoker."
Let me just quickly take a nice 100 gold for myself. Well, first he gets rid of the Sentry. Now he's going to get a nice 100 gold. So the Sentry paying off for him. And of course, Cloud's going to take... It's going to be a while till Cloud can get another ward down at mid for him. So he's going to have to be very careful. He's dealing with 2 invis heroes here. So Ghost Walk needs to happen sooner rather than later. But it does look like he's going for that Exort build. So Ghost Walk is going to maybe only become there at level 3. So he's going to have to be very, very careful here in the mid. It's going to be a hard 3 levels to get. It's going to be harassed to absolute no end.
And I mean, you always have to be careful, of course, as soon as you get the courier, send anything back. Normally around this time, you'd want to send a full salve back to you, although he does have 2 shared tangos. But Cloud's going to struggle here a little bit with the Ricky, the Ricky going for the bottle as well. So probably always going to have to run back towards the tier 2 side and then behind the tier 2 to actually get everything. So I do think that the TA for the first 5 minutes should actually do okay in this middle lane. But whether it's going to be enough to actually go up against a Quaz Exort Invoker constantly rising up to the Forge Spirits, Cold Snap to remove the refraction charges, I don't think TA should technically die early on if she actually uses the refraction wisely.
Yeah, but the thing is, TA, for the most part, in the first 2 to 3 minutes, is going to be doing a lot more right-click damage with the refraction coming on. And she's got that Wraith Band plus an extra Fairy Fire that gives her I know it's only 2 damage, but it does count. But yeah, she's got some decent right click at the moment with 63 plus 25 right now.
Fairy
But
Fire
she's
is the
got-
best item in Dota at this point.
It
As soon as they
really is.
introduced it,
that
every
and
game I was
raindrops-
like, doesn't have a
that
Fairy
and
Fire, gonna
raindrops.
lose.
That and raindrops is
Yeah.
like the best thing to go mid with. But yeah, and then obviously the Ricky harassing with the Orb of Venom, it's not gonna get fun. And then once she does get that trap, it's yeah. It's gonna be not nice because then you got a Ricky coming on you that's slowing you. Then you got the trap to slow you as well. So if he does have the sentry on the high ground there, gonna have to get another one because I mean inevitably Invoker's gonna have to just ghost walk to get out of it or throw a tornado or something like that. So he's gonna have to change up his build a little bit if he wants to survive in the year, or alternatively just a support come and rotate to help him out with this infestation of the Ricky Maru, you know.
Definitely. Looking at the other lanes quickly, towards the top lane, I mean, Centaur should actually be okay with this dual setup here between the Rubik and the Lifestealer. He will be harassed out a little bit, but as soon as he gets a stomp, he just has to mimic the stomp out, let the Lifestealer rage up. After that, he'll be able to get the stomp off, and he shouldn't actually die in this lane unless there's any rotation, or unless there's very good body blocks coming up from the Rubik that forces out the stomp a lot earlier.
And definitely, and I think he's gone for a really good build here for the offlane. He started with the return damage, as well as the ring of protection and the start shield. So he's not only got extra armor, but he's got some damage block as well with that start shield. He's also got himself a healing salve and a tango. And of course, there's obviously that little mini fountain away from fountain over there, and a bounty rune every now and again. So if he does struggle a lot, he can come get the bounty rune, maybe come jungle a bit when he's got some levels in double edge. He just has to watch out for the rotations of the supports because they can catch him out nicely there if he doesn't have vision on that ground there. But they don't have a ward yet. They've got a sentry, but they don't have a ward yet, so they're not going to be able to spot the Centaur Warrior going to jungle. They're just going to have to predict. But he can always have that option. That's the one thing about the offlane that's a lot easier these days than it used to be because of that fountain, because of the bounty rune, and because there's an extra 2 camps there. It just makes offlane a lot more viable and easier.
Well, the game is nearly ready. No, wait, we still have the next assassin that's DC'd, who actually rejoined. I saw someone did rejoin. Oh, it is Rapture.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stunt is currently DC'd. He keeps going in and out of Dota, so I'm sure once he has
Fun
fixed
stuff.
up once he's fixed up his problem, I'm sure will be gladly underway. But let's just talk about this tri lane.
It's going to be difficult for him.
You're not getting away. I mean, with the glimpse, a kinetic field, an X marks a spot with the torrent, and obviously the slow coming out of the spectral dagger from the Spectre, it's going to be a very, very hard lane for Stunt here. Yeah, I think Spike Carapace has to be timed absolutely perfectly, otherwise he's just going to, I think he's just going to die one way or the other because of the fact they've got 2 bringbacks and a catch with the kinetic field. It's going to be very hard for him here. He's going to have to keep his distance. I think once Ricky maybe makes a rotation, maybe then they can do something. But otherwise, I'll keep my distance from this tri lane.
Yep, he'll have to get a level up in Spike Carapace quite early on. Let me just increase the game audio a bit. Someone just messaged me. Game audio. There you go. So now you guys can actually hear what's going on in game as well. Perfect.
Oof, but look at mid there. Look at that. Already half HP is Cloud. He's not going to be able to do much here. This Ricky is going to really, really annoy him. And of course, he can't get a sentry for quite a while, so he's going to have to play it very, very safe here.
Orb of
And look at
Venom
this.
stacks. Orb of Venom stacks. No.
And I believe he has taken backstab first. So,
no.
Cloak of the Dagger. Never mind,
That's
sorry,
Cloak,
Cloak of the Dagger.
Invis.
Oh, gosh. Obviously I'm like, oh, there's the backstab. But no, it's not. Cloud, you are very brave, my friend. He is hanging around here with literally no regen, and he can't just go to the fountain either because he's gonna die. The Ricky will follow him and kill him before he can even get there.
Yep.
This is a very awkward
And the
situation.
side blades also coming into play now, actually punishing him a little bit.
I
So
saw
you saw. Oh, Ice Wall.
Ice Wall was used. I think he was suspecting a dive coming out
From the Ricky.
Yeah, so maybe just to try to slow him down. Interesting choice, but yeah, nonetheless, something good. And we do see the Ricky rotate for the juicy bounty rune.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Cloak and Dagger is sort of like backstab because it does give you the extra agi multiplier.
Yes, it does. It is. I just remember like Ricky backstab. No,
Changed,
But
yeah.
yes, but, yeah, it has changed. But yeah, just
Oh,
so
and he steals the
disgusting.
creep. And he steals the
Yeah.
creep. Kunka's not going to be
Greedy
happy with
guy.
that.
Well, you can say thank you that he actually didn't go for the bounty run because I think the Ricky could legitimately kill the Kunka, but he does have that wind laser does compensate for the Orb of Venom slow, so maybe not. And if he lands a torrent, it could do something. Stunt is now getting harassed up in the lane. Do they not have glimpse? And they do have X marks a spot, so Sentry Ward is down.
Yeah, well, there is a blink strike. He just needs to be able to get out, and now he's out of the range
Yeah.
of the sentry. So very well played there by Stunt to just move a little bit back, making sure that he's outside of any sentry kind of range, and staying there. Instead of moving forward, trying to get, in their faces, just standing back. I think they'll probably harass a little bit more, take a bit of damage, and then move towards the shrine. Both of them heal up, and then Ricky will probably be heading back mid.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, that's his role at the moment. Just be annoying in every lane possible. But I have a question for you.
Go.
Just a little one. What do you think is better? I have my own feelings in this, but what do you think is better, Glimpse or X marks a spot?
X. Because you can use it on yourself, you can time it, you can bring them back whenever you want. Glimpse, of course, has got a much bigger range,
Yeah.
and it works after the fact, but for a more
It also
versatile...
takes 4 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, sending someone back to base, for example, as soon as they TP in, it's got very good defensive capabilities as well as offensive. I like X marks the spot. It's a lot shorter range, but you can time it. It's more aggressive than anything defensive. So it depends.
And it also combos
Aggro.
nicely with the hero skill set. But yeah, for me, okay, it has got a smaller range, but it's not that much smaller. I mean, at max level it's like 1,000, and at max level glimpse is about 1,800. So yes, it's a big difference, but it's not so big that it would actually, because when you glimpse someone, you're not glimpsing them from full range mostly, because you lose vision of them half the time on that range. So for
Hold
me,
on quickly. Ricky actually does have a haste rune going in onto the Kunkka, using 2 blink strikes already, and just constantly harassing him out. I don't think he'll be able to get the kill before the shrine comes into play, but he's still going for this and still getting the backstabs. Kunkka has to actually turn and face him, and not take the backstab damage the whole time coming through. However, he has to be careful now. There's 3 heroes here mid that's actually taking him out, but the positive from that is, first blood on to Deathy.
It was a 1-for-1 trade there, but definitely going into the favor of DC, because I mean, obviously off lane for support always a win.
But the first blood was actually the Rubik, so Rubik
Yeah.
getting the first blood and then dying. Yeah,
As I said, it's definitely a win for DC, but
Yep, yep.
poor little disruptor, he gets picked off all the way behind the tower. They are getting cheeky as hell here.
yeah, I'm missing quite a few of these because I'm still busy looking around, and I wanted to bring up the point where they actually did use the shrine towards the middle lane, so that also does put a lot more pressure on Cloud, because he does not have any further shrine to actually fall back on, and he has to move towards the top shrine if he actually wants to use it, and the top shrine's also been used. So,
And he needs to,
Cloud has
be
to be careful.
Now, he also has to be careful of positioning of his Forge Spirit. I mean, for a second there, it looked like he was literally in line with it. And in the side blades, obviously, being at level 2, if he doesn't position that Forge Spirit properly, he's going to kill himself,
Yep.
basically. And he almost did that on that one time. But there we go, another Forge Spirit coming out here. But check this.
There you go.
See it.
Yep, I see it, and Sideblades hurt. But let's have a look here towards the bottom lane. The Spy Carapace is up and actually does manage to stun quite a few people. Will he be able to get out of this one alive? He has he's dead. Sorry. I'm trying to look at mid as well, because mid was in a lot of trouble. So eventually falling. So it's a 2-for-2 at this point between Pulse and DC. Who do you think the early... If it's even early game, who does... Oh, no. Disruptor. No. He just used the clarity, and now the Ricky's jumping back onto him, putting him down to 200 HP again. And this Ricky's really doing work.
Ricky. You've got to love Ricky. But as we say, that Centaur Rona does go down.
Okay, I have to actually focus right now.
Okay, wait, Patos is actually going to go down here again.
Cloud's in a lot of trouble right now. He actually does manage to... Oh, there's a very good torrent coming through from Kunkka. They actually do manage to drop a sentry, get the kill on Cloud. And that's going the way of the Temporal Assassin around 7 minutes in. I think this TA is going to be very happy. To be honest, he's actually dominating this lane, setting 37 and 17 up against 17 and 6.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, and it's also the fact that she's not only got 37 last hits against Invoker's 17, but she's also got 17 denies, which is just as much last hits as this poor Invoker. And you can say thank you to the Ricky rotations for that, just making his life an absolute living hell.
Yep, picking up 2 null talismans as well. Does have boots up quite. Invoker had.
Deathy's in a spot of trouble here. Already used the Stampede, not up for 5 seconds, used his Stomp already. I think he might actually go down here.
Yeah, he should actually have a Stomp. There you go, very well juked. Oh, unfortunately. Yep, not having the Stomp. Basically opting to go for the Stampede. He did not have a TP on hand. And dropping there as well. So it's a 5-2 at this point, going the way of Pulse.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, that Pulse have...
Sorry, going the way of DC. Yeah.
Yeah, Pulse do have the better draft where you take everything into consideration. But the early game...
Yep. Bottom lane though, they are actually engaging onto... First was the Kunkka, now they're turning around, going in onto the Disruptor. They actually do manage to get a torrent off onto the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin will actually survive, and DGP is still on the hunt here. They actually do get the glimpse back on him. 3 heroes are trying to attack him, but unfortunately they don't have any sentries further. So...
I must say that guy at Portal, Potos was just about to glimpse Stunt back. I mean, Stunt did die anyway, but he couldn't glimpse Stunt back because the Ricky just had the silence on him on this poor Disruptor the whole time. So he couldn't really participate that much in that fight. But it was pretty much a secure
that was
kill.
a Sunstrike kill though.
Yeah, it was a Sunstrike kill. Yeah, but it was a snipe from Cloud himself. But I mean, he's gonna have to be careful. Yeah, I think he's gonna go down. A few right clicks to the double damage TA, that's gotta hurt.
not microing the Forge Spurs correctly. He gives a couple of Sideblade attacks off probably. There's a smoke. Yeah, there's a smoke down from the Rubik as well. There's 3 heroes here for DC onto the middle lane as well.
I must say that the TA did get that kill on the Invoker by her lonesome. Just a few right clicks, a trap, and obviously the double damage to boot. Not getting his cold snap off just in time as he just went up for his Forge Spirits and the Sunstrike, so did not have the cold snap available.
Oh, Centaur might be in a lot of trouble right now. He actually does get lifted up here by the Rubik, trying to go in to get the Stomp. However, he's silenced up right now. He will actually get a double Stomp going off, and then he uses his Stampede to try and get out of this. However, he's actually turning around. There you go. Fenrir is actually in there. They do manage to get the 1 kill, but Death is so low. He's sitting on 10 HP. Is there going to be a Blink Strike in time? There is.
Run, boy.
There is a Blink Strike. He just needs to... Is he going to go the right way? No, top. And there you go. He actually does manage to get the kill. Smoke screen is up, and he'll just be invis from now. TP out. Very much worth it there for the Ricky. Once again, getting a kill on the offlaner. Chasing, and... Oh, Life Stealer raged up, so no X marks a spot for you.
Yeah, he did try,
Ooh, Potas is dead, bottom lane. Stunt actually did, very well there because, he was just harassing him, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the lane, in between the right click, he just used his Vendetta to get that extra bit of damage.
As we said in the beginning, though, the really early game belongs to Pulse, belongs to DC because of the Ricky, the TA. Stunts, all these ganking, nuking heroes, if they snowball pretty damn hard, and then you're not going to have the space that you need for the Spectre, and you're not going to have, your heroes are not going to be online and do what they need to do in time. Like, this poor Disruptor's only sitting at level 4 at the moment, and you need him to be at level 6. The Kunkka's sitting at level 5, almost got his level 6 up, but yeah, by the time that these heroes come online, they're going to be kind of underwhelming here. And especially with the snowballing TA, a Lifestealer, perfect Lifestealer Vessel, who's now just got his armlet up. So, probably going for the Deso, but, it looks like the TA's almost got a Blink Dagger as well. And they're just going to snowball and barrel down. Mid tower has been taken pretty easily with a double damage run on the TA.
Oh, Ricky once again going in onto the Disruptor right now, trying to right-click him. There's a Stampede used once again. He gets glimpsed out, but he should be okay. There is actually a Sentry Ward that's dropped just in time. Ricky's trying to run away. However, there's a Sunstrike Tornado Sunstrike, as well as a X marks the spot and a Torrent combo that actually does take him down. And getting that kill on the Ricky, It is
Yeah,
worth it, but
luckily,
still,
yeah,
that's 4
luckily.
heroes bottom for...
Ooh, Cloud, and maybe in a spot of trouble here in the mid. Yeah, I think he's definitely going down. Very clean executed kill there.
Yep. Keep in mind that was basically 4 heroes around the bottom lane here for the Ricky for Pulse itself, so still worth it. You know the whole thing about space created. I think DC would still be very happy. Plus the counter kill onto the Invoker mid.
Yeah, they got the counter kill on Invoker. I mean, another tower got taken by Mr. Nick himself over there on the Life Stealer, so definitely in their favor once again. Just because of, as you stated, the 4-man rotation, and now they're going on to the poor Finia here on the Spectre. He has not got enough mana to do anything. He can't Spectral Dagger, he can't Haunt, he has got 6-1 charges.
Yeah, Fenner should be okay. I mean, he does have 2 levels up in Dispersion as well, so
Yeah.
they do damage to themselves
well
the
as
more they
the
attack him.
Vanguard.
Yeah, as well as a
And
full
the-
Vanguard up.
So he's pretty tanky at the moment. It looks like he's going for the Radiance build. So, I mean, it's still going to be a while before that comes online. But now, I think he's going to go down here.
Oh, there's the Coco Rum coming through. Both actually does manage to land onto 2. However, the Spike Carapace does stun up the Kunkka a little bit. But there you go. There's the Blink as well as the Tricks of Trade. However, it was Joram getting the kill onto him. And now they want to turn around. Do they have anything to actually kill off this Ricky? I think this Ricky would literally just be able to stand there. Nope, there's the Sentry Ward. Actually does pop down the smoke trying to pull him away, but the Sentry Ward rage. Oh, there's another Sentry Ward, and this is the
Wow.
end. No, Ricky's still alive.
Seriously?
Blank?
Dude.
What? Why did you do that? Why are you running around this way? You know Ricky's here. There's
All I can say is get fogged. Get fogged. I mean, damn, he was so prepared for that. I mean, he had 2 Sentry Wards down.
Kunkka
And he got
actually,
fogged
that
by
was
the
a big
trees.
misplay. That was a
Yeah, that
big
was. He
misplay.
sidestepped and he fogged himself there, so he had no vision of the Ricky, but wow.
He's still looking for him. He was still looking for him.
Right? He's still looking for him. Wow.
Kunkka, nobody. He's gone. Just give up on life already.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna watch the replay and go, damn it! He was right there.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, but, well, you know, once again, very well played to the Ricky, you know, hiding in that one little spot that you do have over there and getting out of that. So, looking at the score right now, it's 6-10. Looking at the net worth, the top 2, of course, 6,600 is the TA, followed by 6,300 on the Life Stealer. After that, it's 4,900, so quite a ways behind
You know what
the
actually
side of
surprises
DC.
me? You know what actually really surprises me is the fact that the Invoker got so harassed mid, right? He lost his mid tower very early. I believe he died twice at mid to the TA, and then once again, you know, to the 2 support rotations, well, the offlane and support rotation, when he was just a little bit too far forward. But I mean, he's almost got the same net worth as a Spectre, who had 3 supports with him almost continuously in a tri-lane where they should have killed Stunt over and over again. So, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, did he
Yeah, I
just
mean,
not farm?
The thing is, as soon as the Ricky came in, they actually let some of the supports go on the bottom lane, which they should have just brought in more sentries. And every time the Ricky was there, they just should have constantly killed the Ricky. That's, in my opinion, what they should have done. Unfortunately, some of their supports had to roam around. They actually had to have 4 heroes bottom for quite a while, and then they still managed to lose one.
Point. That's my point. Is the fact that Finya should have way more farm than he does.
Yeah.
Because he had so much support in his lane. I mean, the Lifesteal lane basically got uncontested, where they were able to basically kill Deathy 3 times in a lane, you know, by himself. So it's just, for me, if you're going to rotate that many heroes, at least secure the farm and get the kills for the Spectre. I mean, it's going to take him another 15 minutes maybe to get that Radiance. If he doesn't go down again, if he goes down, he's going to lose more and more gold, and then the Radiance will no longer be valid. He's going to have to go for Diffusal, you know, Manta, that type of thing. He's going to have to skip Radiance altogether, because sitting around AFK farming for 20 minutes with the snowballing lineup like a Ricky, a TA, a Lifestealer, that's just going to completely devour your team. And then obviously the Nyx Assassin that's going to start picking off people very soon. He's already starting to do it.
Yeah.
And then the kill stealing Rubik is there, taken 2 kills already. No, I'm just joking. But having a lineup like that, you can't just AFK farm. You know, there's no space on the map anymore for that. You've got 2 towers down. Pretty sure that the last tier 2 is going to go down as well. Then your jungle's not even safe. I mean, I don't know. For me, for the Radiance rush at the moment seems like not such a good idea right now. Get your level 6 on your supports. especially now the Disruptor. He's nearly there, but he's also running around with no boots. So he's got a 300 movement speed, which is not good against something like TA, Lifestealer, Ricky, that type of thing that all have slows. It's just, for me, they're going to need to now fight together, combo up, get the kills, take some towers, and then he can go back to farming. Because, there's not much they can do. They've got massive team fights. They just need to utilize it now. And
You know
the right
what I think happened there, because at it was around 8.5 minutes in, we actually spoke about the Spectre, and he survived the initial engagement because he had a Vanguard.
Yeah.
He still has the exact same item. So it's basically the past 6 minutes he hasn't been able to do anything. That's why he's mid right now. And looking at the farm during that time period, he was doing actually very well.
Yeah, he was, but now it's 2K network behind everyone else. But the thing is like yes, he got out of that, but then he stuck around and decided to farm when he knew there were still 3 heroes there with all the skills to kill him, and then he goes and dies. And then not only that, the Kunkka did try save his life, but then obviously the Ricky, being sneaky, came in to blink strike and used everything on him, and then we all know what happened with Kunkka and Ricky after that. But yeah, it's just the fact that he stayed in lane at less than half HP with only 6 magic stick charges. After he escaped a gank, basically, you go back and you heal or you TP out, and then you come back and farm somewhere else where they're not chasing you. But it's like plays like that, like staying in lane at low HP or farming, like where he's farming now. There's no tower there. You haven't got a ward there.
Well, there's no tower anywhere.
No, there is. There's still a tower in his lane over here at the bottom. But
but you don't want to go there.
No, you don't. But right now, it's not safe. You can't go to his jungle. He's going to get picked off. He's farming very dangerously. He's very far forward. For me, it's just like, rather just band together with your team, kill 2 or 3 heroes with your massive team fights. They've had Invoker, Spectre, Kunkka, Disruptor, and a Centaur Warrior. That's massive, huge team fight. If they can just find 2 or 3 heroes, pick them off, take a tower, gain a bit of map control back, then they can start doing other things. But they're not together. They're spread out everywhere on the map. They keep getting picked off, and if they keep playing like this, the early game draft that eventually becomes really good late game draft as well, is just going to roll all over them.
Yeah,
They need to stop the steamroll now.
Looking at the Disruptor will probably be dead as soon as this pause will, basically as soon as they unpause.
Yeah, you have Stanton and that guy Portal right by you. You haven't got a level 6 on your Disruptor yet, so you can't even get out of it. You've got a level 1 Glimpse. So, you can only do 1. Kinetic Field doesn't last that long because it's only at level 1 as well. And you don't have boots. So, you're not getting away. Sorry, Puzzles, dude, you're probably dead. Yeah.
The burst coming through as well with the Vendetta, as well as the Impale, the Mana Burn, and the Backstrike from the Ricky. It is going to be difficult. He is dead, definitely. But looking at that, as soon as both of those 2 heroes bottom show themselves, everyone will know, okay, listen, they are bot. Looking at Stunt's items, he has a full Poor Man Shield up, full Arcanes, as well as a Void Stone building in towards that Yule Scepter. He is farmed as hell for an offlaner. But the offlaner that I have to, actually point up is Deathy. Deathy is setting just a couple hundred underneath the Invoker. He's actually been doing tremendously well, even though he's died quite a few times.
Yeah, he's died 3 times in his lane.
But he's got a full Hood of Defiance up. He's got Tranquil Boots up. Deathy's actually playing very well.
Yeah, he is. And he's still very far away from that Blink Dagger, but he always has the Stampede to compensate. Patos is now going to go try buy some boots.
Let's quickly go there. There you go. Stunt actually does get the Vendetta Strike off, as well as the stun and the Mana Drain or the Mana.
He bought boots. It's fine.
He did buy boots. And there was no Mana Burn.
He didn't lose any gold, basically. Oh, that was lucky.
So actually managing to get his item. He was just about to hit 6 there as well. But that's okay. But basically, because both of those heroes showed themselves bottom, it does open up a little bit more for the likes of the Spectre to farm up in the jungle. But he has to be careful now, because he knows there's Ricky walking around. They do have a Sentry Ward this time placed down, so they would be able to see him.
If Ricky's going to be doing as well as he's been doing, he's going to have a Diffusal Blade up in the next 3 to 4 minutes. And it's just going to be almost nearly impossible to run away from it. But what do you think of Cloud's build? It's interesting. But what do you think of his build here? Like, again, I'm not talking about his items, I'm talking about his actual hero levels, what he's doing with his...
So...
It's kind of like...
So in most cases, you would, for example, nearly always put one level on Wex and then go for a Quas Exhort build just to have that
That's what I'm
Ghost
questioning
Walk. But switching it over to a Wex Exhort, I think. Not quite sure exactly why. Going, I think, more for the alacrity, more for the attack specifically. But we actually do see an engagement coming through middle lane. They actually do manage to get out of that. Kunkka getting saved up by the Centaur War Runner Stampede, and they unfortunately didn't have anything to combo with that.
Yeah, he got very, very lucky there. They pretty much stacked disables on these 3 heroes. I mean, the silence went down as well as the lift and a stun all at the same time. I think if they just, didn't stack the disables there, that still would have been a kill, even if Stampede went off.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, they thought, okay, quick, easy pick off. Let's just throw out as much nuke damage as possible, and we probably get the kill. But yeah, when you stack disables, things are going to happen. But he puts a sentry down, immediately spots the 2 heroes and gets a whole lot of dodge. He was very close to death there again.
Well, looking back to Fenner here on the Spectre, he's doing exactly what he needs to. Busy farming up towards the bottom side. The rest of his team, though, needs to group up so that he can just come in anytime that he needs to. Deathy, however, might be in a lot of trouble. There's the Blink Strike as well as the slow TP's coming in, trying to help him out. He, of course, does not have Stampede to try and do anything. There is a glimpse. No, Sunstrike actually managing to get the kill on DGP. Now the one who turned around, going on to Nick. Of course, there is a Spectral Dagger that they can use. There you go. Will they actually have enough? The TPs are there. I don't think they... Well, but still getting that kill onto the Ricky, it's really worth it. Now they've got a couple of heroes top. This is exactly what we just said they needed to do. They need to go in for the engage.
Yeah, and they didn't expend that much either. So they didn't expend the big ultis to kill him as well, which you see a lot of teams do when they're this far behind. They just throw everything down as soon as they see it.
Yeah, well, they use
have nothing. Yeah, and then they have nothing left afterwards to kill anyone else. And very nice of them to play it like that. It's definitely worth it. And now if anyone else TP's in here, they're ready to fight.
Definitely. Using Haunt there as well, I mean, it does show where everyone else is on the map, so you do know, can we push this further? Can we engage further? And just popping in, making sure that the Spectre actually does get an assist. Sometimes the Spectre doesn't need to come in, because you'll still get the assist because of his illusions. But there you go. Spec all of a sudden sitting on 1,800 gold, where a minute ago sitting on 600.
And they only have one TP on the stunt. The other Lifesteal TP is on cooldown. TA does not have one, and Ricky just TP'd mid. So this is definitely something they can push for. Finia now TPing out for some reason. Yep. Okay, but now there's a few heroes here for them to play around with. And I must say, if you look at the TA, she's almost got a death.
There's the lift coming up here from the Rubik right now. They actually are going to try and go around onto the Lifestealer, and I know it's actually going to be the first person to fall is going to be the Rubik. Sorry, there goes my mouse a little bit. Another Sunstrike coming through right now, trying to go onto the Lifestealer. However, the glimpse is actually used onto Templar Assassin. Templar does manage to get out of that, and they only lost the Disruptor. Yeah.
She got the last right click on the Disruptor. So in the end, it's support for support, but way more expended on the side of Pulse, since all the ults are down now. And that bomb just absolutely popped that Centaur, and already on low HP here. Kind of silly to stand back and farm when you know there's 3 invis heroes on your map. I don't know. That was a bit of a risky maneuver there for me. He doesn't have vision. They haven't got sentries at the entrance there. So, yeah, I don't know. Farming like that is kind of reckless.
The sentry game is starting to hurt the supports quite a bit. If you have a look at the net worth graph, hurt the supports of Pulse quite a bit. But they do actually scout out Ricky moving around here. So, once again, in my opinion, I'll just tell Fenner, listen, dude, just keep on farming. Make sure that we see at least 1 or 2. Keep on farming and just come in. Your Spectral Haunt is up in 8 seconds, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do see... Oh, wait, what happened there? Oh, there was actually tricks of the trade used to actually get out of the glimpse.
And as we speak, the TA has the full Deso up now, as well as the Blink Dagger, and just on her way rushing. And she looks like she's going for that Hurricane Pike next, but this should be a pretty easy rush with that Desolates up. And I think they're just going to barrel down mid next.
Most likely. They have to be careful. I mean, Spectral is looking probably around a 23 minutes radiance, which is still under 25. I mean, your peak timing is 15 to 18. That's your peak timing.
It's going to be good against Refraction as well, but they do still have that bottom tier 1 to take if they decide to do that, but it looks like the call is going to be the mid tier 2. And why not? You have Aegis on your TA, you have Rage, as well as an armlet on the lifestealer.
There's the Aghanim Scepter coming up right now onto the Invoker, so they might actually decide to try and take this fight, but there you go. There's actually a big fight coming in. The Spectre Haunts also there. The Disruptor Ultimate was used, but no one was actually caught inside of that. They actually do get a double stun from the side of DC. There's the Tornado coming through as well as the Meatball, doing quite a bit of damage onto them. However, Invoker does get stunned up just a little bit by the Nyx Assassin. Everyone here from the side of DC is extremely low. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off at this point, and I actually do feel that the side of Pulse could actually try and push this.
Now, Cloud played that very, very well. Perfect EMP Tornado. And then, of course, that Meatball just landed on everyone.
That was very well played.
Very well played by the Invoker there. He saved that team fight.
Losing an offlaner for an offlaner, I'll take that trade-off if, I was the side of Pulse. Seeing that they are behind, looking at the total net worth at this point, sitting around 7,500 in favor of damage control.
Yeah, I mean, the only criticism I can give is obviously the Disruptor and Kunkka ulti not very well synergized there. Disruptor ulti did end up catching someone, but then Kunkka X marks the spot, the TA back, and just those two ultis just not landing on pretty much anything. But Cloud was there to save the day, and that's one thing that Invokers are really good at, that's controlling team fights.
Especially with an Aghanim Scepter up, so yeah.
Yeah, especially with
There you go, once again, going in onto the TA, there is a glimpse, there is at least this time, they actually do manage to get the full combo off, and TA, of course, does have the Aegis. If they can pop the Aegis here, it will actually be a very big win for them if they don't lose a tier 2 tower, but TA is just going to fall back a little bit. Meanwhile, towards the top lane, Fenner, once again, still farming up towards his Radiance. He actually does have his full Sacred Relic up, and going towards the bottom lane to continue on farming. He should have this within the next minute and a half if he actually plays this well. But middle lane, this is where the fight is. There's the blink in from Deathy, the stomp going in onto the Riki. However, he's running the wrong side. The rest of his team cannot actually go in there, and they do manage to catch up the lifesteal inside of the Disruptor Ultimate, and unfortunately it's just not enough. Cloud goes down first. Once again, this Riki just proving to be too much, and this fight's just a little bit all over the place. However, they do manage to pick off the TA's Aegis at this point, and Nyx Assassin trying to go in for a kill onto the Kunkka, not actually landing. There's the Yule Scepter. Unfortunately, once again, they don't manage to get a full X marks the spot, torrent combo off. They're going to try it again here onto Joram at this point, but Joram just gets brought back. They do manage to get another kill onto the Riki, but just constantly just gets, traded off once again. Fenner actually getting a double kill there, and that's very much needed. That's so close. Nearly actually killing the Temporal Assassin as well, or the Temporal Assassin nearly killing the creep that the Lifestealer was infested in, but TA just blinks forward with that Dragon Dance, with the Dessa, and gets another kill for himself. That was so close on the Lifestealer.
That was very, very close. But I think he realized, oh wait, no, let's just blink and get the Spectre.
TA literally hit that creep, and the creep was sitting on like 20% HP.
Yeah, it was very, very low. But I must say, very, very good jump in there by
Spectre.
By Spectre, but even by Deathy. I mean, he got a nice double hoof stomp off, got the pick off onto I believe the Nyx Assassin there. So I mean, yeah, pretty risky move. He died for it, but then it just created space for the Spectre to come in, get the double kill, almost a triple kill. Unfortunately, he did go down. They did lose the tier 2 and the tier 1 as well. So I mean, still in the favor of DC, but
significantly,
it's significantly better right now. Unfortunately, Cloud did go down, took a majority of his damage, I believe, from Spike Carapace as well. So I mean, he is doing really, really well to come in, and he's actually catching up pretty damn nicely. I mean, he's got the Hand of Midas as well as the Aghanim Scepter. The Hand of Midas is really, really helping him to catch up here, and now almost got the Blink Dagger to boot. So Cloud not doing too badly here. He had a very, very, very rough
Fenner might be in a lot of trouble right now. He picks up a double damage rune, and they're actually going to try and go onto them. However, they're all busy burning at this point due to the Radiance, as well as the Dispersion. He actually might get a kill. Coming through there was extremely close. Sunstrike timing's going to be there. Getting the kill onto the Riki. So very well played. And the Dispersion actually coming into play there significantly. There you go. Laugh my ass off.
Let's just get a Blade Mail on top of that. I think that would do really well right now if the Spectre got himself a Blade Mail. I think with Dispersion, Blade Mail, Radiance, it's just going to do so much work. Definitely against the right click of this TA. All the damage coming out of the side of Pulse at the moment. I mean, the side of DC, sorry. I think Blade Mail should be his next option. I don't know, I could be wrong here, but I definitely would go for it.
I agree. I mean, in some cases, you'll first go for your Abyssal Blade and then go up for Blade Mail, or you pick up the Blade Mail as soon as you're done with the Radiant. Looking at the current international guys, looking at the way Burning played, Spectre tremendously well doing exactly that, picking up Radiance and then going in for that Blade Mail. But we actually do see a TP in towards the bottom shrine. Rubik
It just scales so well. If he gets spotted here,
nah.
okay, he takes away. I think he just tried to be the D ward there. They did put a sentry down there just to check if there is a ward on the high ground there. We do have a smoked up Kunkka as well as a disruptor. They do spot out the sentry and just gets immediately de-warded here. And yeah, finally getting some levels in his glimpse is the disruptor. So we're gonna start seeing some more plays hopefully. But look, I get the Thunderstrike, the nuke and everything, but I do favor the kinetic field and max glimpse thing.
Well,
but
we might actually see an engagement coming through there. There you go, just instantly blown up. Deathy actually getting the kill towards the middle side. Keep in mind, Spectre does have the ultimate if he needs to, or if it needs to come back in. And Cloud's just going here, chowing away at that tier 1 tower. A lot of damage coming through here by the Forge Spirits. I actually do think that Pulse should fight this. They do have Spectre farming on the bottom lane. He will be able to, come in at a moment's notice.
Yeah,
Temporal Assassins
that's
already
good.
used Refraction, so they should fight.
Well, that's the thing. Like they did what we wanted them to do. Basically, they didn't just let the side of Pulse or the side of DC basically just run them over, because they were very capable of doing that, and they stopped getting picked off. They started banding together using their huge wombo combo ults.
Well, there's an Invis Rune coming through right now. They unfortunately blow up the Kunkka straight away, but unfortunately here comes Mr. Spectre going straight in, trying to go for another kill. Everyone's extremely low. Unfortunately, they don't have enough. Will they be able to kill off the Temporal Assassin? They will not be... No. Unfortunately, Temporal Assassin actually does get glimpsed back all the way. Sorry, I'm actually running over my words at this point. And Fenrir actually doing extremely well. Cloud getting a double kill. Now they're actually trying to turn around, go for more Spectre. Does get stunned up due to the Radiance. Still trying to go for anything further here. I'm just getting a little bit tongue-tied there. It's been an extremely long day. They do manage to actually get a triple kill. Very well played there by Invoker. Using that Blink Dagger, and he has the Hand of Midas. Let's see if he uses it.
Yeah, that was like 0.2 seconds away from like scot-free. But yeah, I mean, very, very well played there by Maple. I mean, he evaded so much. He blinked away, evaded like the first X, he evaded, pretty much the Tornado as well as a Spectral Dagger and a Sunstrike. But then, it got catch in the form of the Glimpse as well as the X marks a spot, and just got glimpsed all the way back. And I mean, he tried his best to get away from that. But yeah, I mean, these team fights are working out very, very well for them here.
I mean, the Radiance Burn is actually coming into play now significantly, especially with these prolonged fights, because they literally started off by blowing up the Kunkka. And then, unfortunately, which they did not see, the Centaur War Runner was standing right on top of them with an Invis Rune picked up. He, of course, has a gem as well. And he just, I don't know if he had the gem before that. But
no, Disruptor just picked up the gem, literally just picked it up.
Okay. But I mean, he was literally standing there waiting for them. And as soon as they jumped in...
sentry on the high ground here. So for that fight, they were able to see him. But yeah, I mean, very, very well played to them. They finally are able to use that huge wombo combos. I mean, this is what I was saying. If they kept, getting picked off, not banding together, using their strengths, then the side of DC's, the DC's draft would just run over them, basically. And now, it might be a bit too late for that.
Well, if I was the side of DC, I mean, don't take team fights. They've been taking team fights.
No, they can't.
Their lineup is not designed to take team fights. Look at this, right now. Top lane, Fenrir is there. Band together, kill Fenrir. It's as simple as that. If 5 heroes move towards Fenrir, Fenrir can't haunt out and kill anyone.
Yeah, that's the thing, and they were doing it perfectly well, but now there's just
there's the Tornado coming through as well as the Sunstrike, wanting to go onto the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin uses a Spy Carapace, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. And on that note, they also blow up once again the Kunkka, but a good double hoof stomp coming through actually does manage to get a kill here for Cloud. Now they're turning around, they want to go on to Nick. Unfortunately, Deathy is still alive. They actually managed to go further, and they glimpse back Nick. Very well played once again from the side of Pulse. Just outmaneuvering the side of DC just that little bit.
This is just the draft. This is why I said in the beginning I favor Pulse's draft, because of the catch, the kiting,
Yeah.
the disable, the team
I
fight.
feel that the past two patches have all been about catch.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, stuns, roots, glimpses. It's just that's what you need. And Invoker is one of the best, or for me, one
Oh,
of the
wait,
best.
there's a
things.
glimpse once again onto the Temporal Assassin. Temporal does get forced off out, and the Spike Carapace actually does save the TA just for now, but the Cold Snap's coming through. TA's in a lot of trouble. Sunstrike coming through, but not even needed. Centaur comes through with a good double edge. And with both the two cores down of DC, this might actually be the first lane of Rax.
It's kind of unfortunate because I mean the side of DC were doing so well playing their draft very efficiently, but as soon as these heroes got a few items, they got their levels, banded together as a team, they just like you said, they can't take a 5-on-5 fights because the side of DC is going to generally lose the 5-on-5 fights.
Well,
most
there's the
of
Ricky
time.
jumping in with the tricks of the trade as well as the Nyx Assassin coming through with a good Spike Carapace. However, there's the Coco Ram coming through. They instantly blow up the Ricky. Ricky, of course, is trying to do what he can. Spectre's on quite low HP. They actually do manage to use a Shrine. Cloud might be in a lot of trouble right now. Cloud does drop from their 5 mega kill streak ended, and they're trying to get more. Deathy does get a hoof stomp off there. Gets stunned again once again by the Nyx. Sorry, my tongue is just going all over the place. Gem has been dropped, and
Gem on the deck.
they split up a little bit there. Quite interesting to see them chasing just that little bit too much, and unfortunately chasing straight onto a Shrine is not a good idea.
No, it really isn't. Fighting by shrines is never a good idea.
Oh,
but
Spectre might be in a lot of trouble. Gets lifted up.
Nah,
There's just no
he's
follow-up.
fine.
There's no
They haven't got the catch that that the side of Pulse have. But yeah, I think it's just also unfortunate. Also the fact that he did go for the Manta style. I would have honestly gone for the Blade Mill and
Yes.
then the Manta style, because imagine what a Blade Mill would have done in these fights now, especially there. I mean, it looked like it was going really, really well, and all of a sudden they just kind of split up too much and just gave the heroes of Pulse, what they do best. I mean, the side of DC, heroes what they do best, and that's.
Doesn't
pick
it
off
bother you
individual
that you
heroes.
can't see the names on top anymore?
You can. I can.
I can't see the
You
two
need to
teams'
change.
names.
Yeah, you need to change it in your settings.
Really?
Yes, you need to change it in your settings. But yeah, it's a problem for me is the fact that like that team fight for them, it looked like it was going really well, and then they split up, and then it gave the TA Ricky went down pretty damn fast, but I mean it gave them the chance to pick off individually, which is what these heroes are really good at. So I mean, if they just band together and do a proper team fight.
Yep. I mean, let's have a look at the net worth right now. It's still in favor of damage control, but
it's still a win.
with
It's still
a
a
couple
win.
hundred. It's still only a couple hundred.
It's still a win. Look, they got the melee barracks and they got the tier 3 towers. So it's still a win for them. But very, very well played to the side of DC for defending that. I mean, they played that really, really well.
I have to say, Stunt has been playing really well.
Stunt for me is one of the better players on DC at the moment. There is some really good players on DC, but for me, he's the star player essentially. But it's just sad because they had such a big advantage and they just kind of let Pulse come back.
Yeah, I mean, even seeing Kunkka using the X marks the spot just to farm up and farm safely a little bit. Shame, this Kunkka's been targeted a lot. Every time, if a fight starts, I'm just going to start off by saying, okay, so Kunkka's dead, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, but you don't exactly want the rum and the boat going off in a team fight because the damage is delayed. So it's not something you want. And of course, if you can eliminate an X marks a spot and you only got one glimpse to worry about, that's also a nice reason. Plus, Tidebringer does quite a bit in a team
There's
fight
a big
as well.
smoke rotation coming out here for the side of Pulse. They really want to try and find someone as well as an infested Nyx Assassin. They're actually going to jump on once again onto the Kunkka, but there you go. Kunkka does manage to Xbox himself back out, but the huge infest bomb is actually coming through as well as the rest of the follow-up. The first person that is actually going to drop is going to be two heroes here from DC. Fenner doing quite a lot, trying to chase onto the Nyx Assassin on the backlines as well. And they also want to try and go into the Temporal Assassin. Temporal Assassin gets blinked up. She actually does manage to blink herself further away, but unfortunately it's not enough. They actually just jump her. And this is going to be the Aegis down. So leaving the Temporal Assassin towards the
Defi, get the
end.
heart out.
Yeah, Deathy actually does drop as well as the... Wait, Deathy? No, wait.
No, he's very lucky there. One right click from the Templar Assassin and he
Sorry.
would have been dead. But
So,
timing that stomp.
look
very,
towards
very, very
there.
quickly.
They actually, the illusions managed to get the kill. Who was that onto? That was actually
Ooh,
onto Stunt.
DC Nick looks like he wants to jump onto Cloud here. Can he though? Alone.
Without
He's got-
without
he's got-
detection, no.
He's got rage, but I must say, Cloud has been playing this absolutely brilliantly. He had such a hard start in the mid lane. Like, he was really far behind, and he's just
Oh,
been
Nick
doing
might be in
so
a bit of
much-
trouble right now. There's a lot of support coming through. They actually do manage to jump onto Cloud right now. Cloud might be in quite a bit of trouble, but they're going to turn around. No, he gets forced off the way. Now he actually does use the tornado, and the tornado does manage to get him the kill as well as the full combo. There's the Coco Rom coming through once again onto 3 heroes, and unfortunately DGP might be in a lot of trouble. That's 4-5 heroes down for the price of none.
It didn't really make sense to me. I think he should have just, when he was raged, he should have just maybe gotten out because after his rage wears off, I mean, they're not going to be able to do much. I mean, they've got glimpse, they've got X marks of spots. It's just that there's so much kiting for this lifestealer.
Yeah, and this is going to be the second lane of Rax. I think this might be GG coming through because, yeah, there's the buyback. So first we need the buybacks. If the buybacks don't work, then it will be GG. But I do like this from the side of Pulse. They actually do decide to back off. They do have the mid-tier 3 tower as well as the melee racks on the bottom lane. Top lane has been full raxed out. So, yeah, they're actually trying to go onto the life stealer once again. They actually do not manage to get anything. The glimpse is there, but it doesn't actually land onto anyone. The Sunstrike does get the kill onto the Rubik, and now they're trying to follow up. Fenner is standing there in the front lines with a butterfly as well. They can't actually do anything, and Stun's going to be the next person to fall here. They do manage to use a Shrine, trying to deal up, and Templar Assassin trying to go toe-to-toe up against the Spectre. It's really not going to work because guess what? Spectre's got a butterfly. Trying to force off himself
not only
out.
the butterfly, but I mean the radiance adds that as well. Cloud is actually going to go down here to the lifestealer, but Fenrir just standing in the base, trying to melt down poor Maple here on the TA. He might actually pay for it.
He's in a lot of trouble, but just look, it takes him so much to actually kill him because he's just literally dodging everything and the kitchen sink that was thrown at him. But that's 3 lanes of rack right now, so hashtag space created. He, of course, does have buyback if need be. The rest of the team, they're just going to fall back. They're going to farm up and wait for the Spectre to come back up. No, GGs are called. Very well played coming through here for the side of Pulse, bringing this game back from the jaws of defeat. I honestly think the thing that DC needed to do was instead of trying to force those team fights mid, they actually should have split up. Drop the tower mid and just constantly gank the Spectre, spread out and actually take the fight because they've got the invis heroes.
But even with that, you still, when Spectre gets to that point, he can always split push. Invoker can split push pretty efficiently as well. So every time they pick off or fight, they're going to lose a tower or 2 as well in the process. But I suppose if they are picking heroes off, it will force those heroes to come back and fight with their team and defend. So it's vice versa. But for me, like, DC was doing really, really well in the start, playing their draft pretty efficiently, but as soon as all the heroes were online, got their ultis, got a few items up, mainly the Blink Dagger on the Centaur, that type of thing. The Invoker Aghanims, that was a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, that, fight at the tier 3 tower for Pulse with that Aghanim Scepter.
No, it was a tier 2 middle where we had the Aghanim Scepter up. But I mean, those 2 items alone just made such a huge difference for Pulse. And I don't know, for me, then DC tried to take on 5-on-5 fights where they inevitably will lose because Pulse's lineup is team fight heavy, and it just spiraled out of control from there.
Team fight versus gang, which one wins? The one that executes their draft better. Guys, stay tuned. Game 2 will be up shortly. Thanks so much, Mr. Acubus. Was awesome. There you go. Listen to some jams, and we'll be back with game number 2 soon.
See you on the other side. Stay alive. Stay alive. See you on the other side. Stay alive. Stay alive. I got to keep it together. Keep it together. I got to keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together.
And welcome back, everyone, to another game we have here between Damage Control and Pulse Reborn. Pulse, of course, taking game number 1 up against DC. DC playing extremely well early game, but unfortunately just fizzling out that little bit, playing Pulse's game, playing the team fights. I'm Reddit, joining me is Succubus. Succubus, what did you think of the game?
You pretty much summed it up. I mean, DC had an extremely good early game. They did and played their draft to maximum efficiency, and then Pulse Reborn just got Magnum Scepter on the Invoker, they got the Blink on Deathy on his Center Warrunner. They took some really good team fights, and then Damage Control just kind of fell into it when they started trying to fight Pulse's draft 5-on-5 and just completely lost it from there. Just basically threw away all the advantage that they had. And like you said, they played into Pulse's game.
Looking at the draft, this time we'll actually have time to talk about the entire draft.
Yay!
So, just so that everyone also knows, whoever loses here is out of the running to actually take part in the a Masters tournament coming up in July, I think it is.
I think the first one, there's 2 LAN events. There's one in May and one in July. But yeah, this competition is specifically for July itself to have its 2 spots on the Masters team. So Career Shield consists of the 4 lowest Masters teams and the top from the Sapphire and Emerald Showdown qualifiers. So basically, they only have 2 lives. It's double elimination event. So both teams have already lost the best out of 3 in this cup so far. So whoever loses this one is now basically done with their life. Anyway, and then the tournament that they will be competing for, the top 2 finalists will be invited to compete in the Masters Cup on the 29th of June to the 2nd of July. That is what the description is on the DGL site itself. I'm pretty sure they'll be releasing way more information. Yeah,
subject to change,
subject to change, yeah.
Hashtag please read the disclaimers kind of thing.
But it's pretty much the top 4 from the Sapphire, top 4 from Emerald, and the bottom 4 of the Masters competing for the last 2 spots in the Masters,
cool.
grand finale. But I must say, Damage Control draft, I'm liking it so far.
Yeah.
I really am.
Let's have a straight look at the picks and bans so far. Or the bans specifically. Lifestealer, as well as the Beastmaster being banned out by Pulse, Alchemist, and the Centaur being banned out. That, of course, does leave the Slardar in the pool.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
It will most likely be picked up. I mean, either the Centaur or the Slardar does get picked up on average. But I must say, picking up a Warlock against an Axe is a very, very good thing. I mean, all you need to do is connect Axe to the rest of his team. Axe being as tanky as he is, inevitably going for that plus 25 health regen. Free heart, thank you, Gaben.
Yeah.
But yeah, you basically just link him to the rest of his team and he'll do the work for you with the Fatal Bonds.
Yep. Looking at the Juggernaut pickup there to combo with the Warlock as well, the Spin as well as the Omni Slash coming through. Warlock, we can't see Warlock running in that dual offlane role because it does put out a lot of damage early on, especially with the Shadow Word. It's a significant amount of damage. 130 damage at level 1. That's quite a bit, and considering it's only a 16-second cooldown, it can harass out quite nicely, but it could also do the same on the safe lane versus the Axe. Axe and Crystal Maiden being picked up here by Damage Control. Good lockdown heroes specifically to try and take up something like the Juggernaut, try and go against the likes of Pulse, which they didn't seem to have that well previously. I have to say, though, Stunt played very well with the Nyx Assassin.
Yes, he did.
But it was just too much work.
Like I said before, I think Stunt is the star player of Damage Control. He definitely is one of the better players on the team. Unfortunately, he is positioned in the offlane role, but that is essentially the playmakers. Whoa. Damage Control? What?
DC win, guys.
I think it's just actually a DC. Everyone DC'd out of the game, so we'll have to see what's going on here.
That's actually because it said returning to matchmaking.
Yeah, I think people messed up just a little bit there. Let's have a 2-minute break and find out what exactly is going on here.
Okay, so guys, on that note, stay tuned. We'll be back in a quick minute. Enjoy the rest of the music. The music will be up soon. And then we'll be back with the rest of the draft. Okay, everyone, and we are back. I'm British, of course. Joining me is Succubus. Succubus, take us through what has just happened. Hello.
So basically, both teams are lagging out. They wanted to find out if they could reschedule. It's not that type of event, unfortunately. It's a double elimination event, so if one forfeits, it's done. So they basically are forced to play at the moment. But yeah, here we are, same picks and bans. It's going very, very quickly, and we're back on track.
Yeah, so taking everyone, for those of you guys that, of course, do know and weren't watching during the original draft, we can take you quickly through everything that's happened so far. Lifestealer and Lifestealer Beastmaster being banned out, Ricky now as well by Pulse, Alchemist as well as Centaur, Juggernaut, Warlock, Axe, Crystal Maiden have been picked up. Slaughter has been completely left alone.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I would like to see Slaughter on Pulse's draft though.
Yeah, Pulse could definitely use with the Slaughter. I mean, brilliant offlaner, good initiator, and of course that corrosive haze of his, always a good thing to have with that minus armor. But like I was saying before, we were so brutally interrupted by these teams.
Damn it.
The Warlock pick against the Axe, I still absolutely love it, and because of the Fatal Bonds. I mean, basically link Axe to your entire team. As we were saying before, Axe gets that lovely plus 25 regen. Thank you, Gaben, for giving him a free heart at level 20. But yeah, you basically link Axe to the rest of the team, and he does your work for you with the Fatal Bonds. So he basically kills off his own teammates. But yeah, Warlock, very, very good hero these days. I mean, it has always been a good hero. I mean, remember the Masters at Rage? I mean, he was picked almost every single game.
Yeah.
Not so much now in the current meta because he's got a big cooldown ulti.
But I mean, have a look at Dak. Warlock was constantly picked up during Dak as well, and sometimes even completely leaving the Fatal Bonds and actually going for his third ability.
You can't really do that with the Axe on the field though at the moment. So any heroes like Bounty Hunter, Axe, that type of thing, you don't really want to just stand there doing nothing with upheaval and trying to micro your golems. So definitely, I think the Fatal Bonds into Shadow Word getting maxed, definitely the way to go here. Of course, I mean, the golems are always lovely in a team fight, but to add injury to insult, you now have the Tidehunter, very good offlaner. It looks like they're not going to go for the Slaughter pick at all.
Well, Slaughter can always be the roaming 4.
He could, but, when you have the Tidehunter, it's just... Tidehunter needs a lot of levels. He needs a lot of items as well. And then you got the Slaughter, he needs the Blink Dagger, that type of thing. It's very greedy if they go for the Slaughter now, because Warlock's a greedy support, Slaughter's a greedy support if you're going to play him in that role. It's for me right now, these three are very greedy heroes, you can put it that way. But we have the bully hero himself, we have the Ursa. Now, Crystal Maiden, I think she's brilliant in this meta. I mean, obviously, with the Tranquil Boots as well as Arcanora, she's basically her own fountain away from fountain. But it's more the Frostbite at the moment that's absolutely ridiculous, because it's a root. So you can't blink out of it, you can't leap, you can't pretty much Ember Spirit, can't Remnants. It's, all those beautiful things. So for me, Frostbite right now is absolutely amazing. And stacking up with the Crystal Nova and, of course, the Freezing Field, just like the hero just works so, so well together. But I must say, the Ursa Crystal Maiden, it's a pretty nasty lane. You're not getting away from that, especially with the early Orb of Venom with Overpower into Fury swipes. And of course, you've got a Bounty Hunter to worry about that, just might be in the lane, who's also inevitably going to probably carry an Orb of Venom, even more slows. And then Axe generally does very well off lane. Against the Tidehunter, if he goes head to head with the Tidehunter, it's going to be pretty hard for him, since they do have the Kraken Shell as well as an Anchor Smash. It does reduce damage. So Axe first Tide, not a very good matchup, but I do suspect he's going to be going up against the Jug, Warlock, Jakiro, and that in itself Axe is not going to be able to really face or do much in that lane
No,
either.
no, Axe can't do anything there, specifically with the Shadow Word as well as the Liquid Fire harassment coming through. He'll
Yeah,
have to move
it's going to be
into
really hard.
he'll have to move into the jungle quite early on, and he'll probably go into lane to see if he could possibly get level 2. If he can, that's perfect. If he can't, he'll most likely just head straight into the jungle, into the side jungle, wait for the creeps to push up, then go to the tower for experience, and rinse and repeat. However,
It's going to be very hard for him because, like, as we said before, with the Jakira and the Warlock there, he's not going to be able to accomplish much in an off lane situation or going up against that type of tri lane. And then again, laning against a Tide Hunter, also not great for him. So Axe early game, it's going to be very hard for him. And then Bounty's going to probably try and rotate a few times, but then he's not going to be harassing mid like he's supposed to, or making a kill with the Ursa and the Crystal Maiden. So who do you invest in is the problem.
So, I think damage control. I mean, they've gone quite greedy here with a Bounty, Ursa, Crystal Maiden, Axe. They need something mid to try and control the fight quite a bit. They unfortunately banned out their own Magnus. I would have loved to see a Magnus in their draft, even though it put them on 4 melee heroes. I think they could play around that quite a bit. But looking towards damage control, they need a mid that can actually control. That can control the pace of the game. That can be safe by herself. That can rotate a lot easier. Something like a Queen of Pain would be good.
Yeah, but the problem now, Pulse is actually banned out the Invoker as well as the Tinker, who are two very good controllers.
Yeah.
Not just controllers, I mean, Tinker throws out a huge amount of nuke, it's good at split pushing. Invoker, we know how well Invoker
Ginger Ninja has picked up.
Ginger Ninja for them, yes. But I mean, damage, we're talking about damage controls mid now. Queen of Pain could do nicely, but then there's always Shackle, Naga.
Oh.
Wow, that's something we haven't seen in a while. It makes sense, it's a good disengager. I mean, you've got a Ravage, Golems, you've got all these things to worry about. Naga can easily just throw down a sleep and, disengage from that. And if she does get her items up, she's also a very efficient split pusher, and she can get
Yeah,
massive.
I don't like this Naga pick here. I
Yeah,
don't.
It's good against like big ultis like this where her team gets initiated on with Tide Hunter, Ravage, Warlock, Golems. She can sleep, they can all TP out and get the hell out of dodge.
Hey, it just gives
And the
more
Axe-
things to Shackle, not Shackle, but it just gives more things for the Warlock to
link with the Fatal Bonds.
Fatal
yeah.
Bonds.
But also Windrunner is inevitably probably going to pick up the Mjolnir, Maelstrom, that type of thing. So Illusions are going to be pretty much devastated there as well. But it does, however, with that disengage of the Naga, it does open up space for the Axe, the Bounty Hunter, the Ursa, those heroes to maybe go and get the pick-offs again. But again, we have a pick-off lineup versus a team fight lineup. So, I mean, a snowballing Ursa is really a good thing. A snowballing Axe is a really good thing. You're not going to have the heroes to, they're not going to be able to come online as fast as they normally do if you get those pickoffs early, and then you can play into that game. Because Ursa's pretty good at taking towers and stuff as well. But for me, the push, the team fights, all that stuff, again, lies with Pulse. Pulse for me has the better draft.
Yeah. To be honest, if a Queen of Pain was actually picked up here on the side of DC, I actually would have liked their draft.
Or even
It's-
a Puck. Puck
it's
would have
mobile.
actually been, for me, Puck even would have been better since it's got the lockdown, it's got the
Yeah, but then they're
silence,
lacking
it's
on
got heavy
damage.
nuke.
Then they're lacking on damage,
Look, Puck,
in my opinion.
Puck does have quite a bit of damage, but the other damage can just lock down the team for the Axe to come in and pull, Crystal Maiden to get her ulti off, the Ursa to come and completely decimate these heroes. Because if you look, I mean, Warlock, Windrunner, Jakiro. Okay, Jakiro's got a bit more higher armor than most supports, but I mean, Windrunner and Warlock, they're quite squishy. And I mean, to be honest, Ursa does really well against something like a Juggernaut because of his ulti.
And the Ursa can actually clear through golems quite quickly as well.
Yes, he can. Yeah, so Ursa is actually a good pick here, but yeah, I agree with you. They needed something like a Queen of Pain, a Puck, something like that, just to add that element. I mean, Windrunner's going to windrun. Ursa not going to be able to do much until he has an MKB, that type of thing. But he's good against this lineup. It's just.
But I mean, we have seen teams like Liquid playing that mid Marana kind of role, and it does work. And if this is something that they've actually practiced, and I mean that's a big thing to also come into play, is because Windrunner mid, sure, it's okay, but Naga can actually deal with that. Naga can still find her farm mid. And with that, being able to get out of that, if they do dive as soon as the level 6 comes up, having the supports TP in, being able to set that up. You know what? It actually could work. Liquid did it when they actually rotated Miracle onto roaming 4 support, and then they put their Naga player, which is one of the top in the world, in Naga mid, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Naga's the good disengager against Ravage, that type of thing. So they can throw their huge combos off, and then they can't really work with that much anymore.
Yeah, I see it.
So yeah, you can see how it could work out, but then the Axe and the Ursa need to stay the hell out of dodge, basically, and then come into the fight later. I mean, Ursa ulti is good against Jug ulti. He just needs to pop it at the right time. It's going to take little to no damage from it. Then just is able to Fury swipe his way through the blade dance. It's just, yeah, it's a good hero. It's a good hero against these things. But again, you have Shackles to worry about. You know, you have, okay, Jakira has a stun. It's not very reliable, the ice path. You know, it's not like a Sven stun or a coconut. You know,
It's
not
more
like
of a setup to follow up with the golem, or to follow up with the shackle, or to follow up with a Yule scepter kind of thing.
Even Shackle for me is a brilliant disable, but it's also not reliable, if you want to put it that way. You have to be skilled. It's a skill shot skill. But yeah, definitely something.
Hey,
like
do you
that.
think ninja skills just come by default? Of course you need skill.
Ginger ninjas, yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely, Windrunner, you know my feelings with Windrunner. I love
Of
that
course.
hero. I really love Windrunner, but the thing is for me is if you get it someone that can't necessarily or doesn't know the hero that well. I'm not saying Cloud doesn't. I mean, obviously he knows most heroes, but some people just don't land shackles nicely, or they will shackle at the wrong angle, or they don't know that they can shackle the creep, like the guy is standing next to, or something like that, or get a positioning item like a 4-star or a blink or something, just to get that better availability there. But yeah, the draft can work on the side of DC. Just for me, it's again the pick off lineup and not against the team fight lineup. And if they fall into the same dilemma as they did last game, they're just gonna outright lose it again.
However, late game, though, I mean, they are playing currently 4v5, but late game, the Naga does come in. I actually do like this. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I really, really do like this Naga pick for what it's used for. However, them playing
definitely.
4v5, hey, it could actually work in their favor because they have a Naga.
Yeah, it could work in their favor because they have a Naga, but she's going to need a lot of space for that to happen, and she's going to need an exceptional amount of farm. The point is that can they do it? Can they actually do it?
Well, guys, it's going to be Nick playing the Ursa here on the bottom lane for DC, moving into the DC'd player from DC, Reborn. Middle lane, DGP on the Bounty Hunter, as well as Mr. Math on the Naga side, actually going in, trying to go for a kill on Cloud. It's not going to be an easy one to do at level 1. And the offlaner, of course, Stunt playing here on the Axe, actually going for full Iron Talon early on, so knowing that he's going to have to move into the jungle quite early. But take us to the side of Pulse while I keep an eye here on Cloud.
Yeah, well, Cloud's taking a lot of damage from that lovely Orb of Venom on the Bounty Hunter there. He's obviously
Isn't this the same thing that happened in game 1?
Yeah, pretty much. Poor Cloud, he's just getting absolutely harassed, having a hard night mid. But now Potos is here on that Warlock to come help him out, heal him up a little bit, and harass the Naga. Maybe get a few fatal bonds on his face. But yeah, anyway.
Naga's got a full poor man shield up as well, so it's gonna help.
It's gonna be hard to harass her, but I mean she has got a staggering 7 armor as well, so very susceptible to right clicks. Anyway, there we have none the other Stunt on the lovely Axe over there. And then I think I'm leaving out two more players. Sorry, I've got the Finia on the Juggernaut, and last but not least, we're gonna have Deathy and Santa on that. On the Tidehunter as well as the Jakiro. Very deadly tri lane here, I must say.
Yeah, but
and it's brave. I mean, we've got the DC carry, Mr. Nick over here, going up against us with Deathy. That's an interesting lane.
Quite so. But I mean, they do know that they are playing 4v5, so they're probably just trying to harass out here towards the bottom lane, keeping Ursa here mostly solo, just with a Bounty Hunter wrapping around. I mean, unfortunately, it is very difficult, and Stunt also just basically having free form now at this point in this lane.
Now with that guy portal, right? The DGP, that guy portal. Now, Pulse did bad out there, Ricky, but picking up the Bounty Hunter instead. Now, kind of the same concept as he is, doing the harassing and all that good stuff. But what is better about the better about the bounty hunter is that track gold, and it's going to escalate the axe, the Ursa, and as well as the Nuggers farm pretty exponentially. So it is a good pickup in this game. I do feel like Ricky also would have been good here, especially for the silence.
DGP might be in a lot of trouble right now. He actually runs into a range of a sentry ward, and they do harass him out significantly. So there's actually 2 sentries dropped. They had to deward the one.
They did have to deward the one, but it looks like someone is micro-skilling this poor Crystal Maiden. Unfortunately, Jerome is still DC'd, but did level up that Arcane Aura for his team first. I'm sure someone else did that, but obviously trying to get him that level 2 so that he can
he's back.
Get that freeze.
He's back.
And shame, he's got no items right now. Actually, he's got 900 gold in his stash, so not that bad.
Yeah, they actually used him to pick up the bounty runes to make sure that, they actually get the gold regardless. And
they were pretty efficient with it as well. They were stacking the jungle creeps and stuff, if you see on the lane there. But this poor axe stunt is getting almost dove by the tier 2 tower by a warlock. So, yeah, not doing too great there. 5v5 bots.
He's actually doing okay. He will have his full boots up right now, as well as being able to TP back. He was farming in the lane as well as getting both of those camps. So taking a significant chunk of damage as well as having the boots up now, including an Iron Talon this early on. It's really not bad for him. He is currently sitting on 20 last hits versus the Tide's 22. So a very good even split.
And Tide does have help from Santa as well. So, Deathy and Santa in the same lane. I do feel like Tide can hold his own here, just to be honest. Because, Tide is a good hero to offlane with, but unfortunately he does not have anything resembling, like, a ring of protection or a stout shield. So, yeah, it's a very risky maneuver.
He's actually going for a more early game kind of build. He wants to get that blink up.
That type of thing,
Warlock in the middle lane though. Ooh, the power shot comes through. Hits Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter might be in a bit of trouble here.
He actually might. No, I don't think he's going to go down from... Well, actually, he might. Hold on.
It's going to be like 30 HP. Yeah, ooh, 29 HP left.
Lucky.
Ooh, that power shot, man.
The Naga illusions are doing some work here in the mid. Pato's trying to get rid of it as quick as possible just by, using that beautiful fatal bonds. But, yeah, his lanes are not exactly going as I predicted, but it is working out for them. Let's look at the last hits and denies here. Juggernaut pretty much getting uncontested, so to speak. Patos has been doing a really, really good job at zoning out this axe.
Well, I'm just looking here at the Ursa. Ursa struggling quite a bit, sitting on only 19-0, but the turnaround, trying to go into Deathy, Ursa is not really going to work because they just out-harass him the whole time. They actually need to send the CM, or they need to send someone bottom to actually try and help out.
Now, Santa's build is pretty disgusting. Got 2 levels in Dual Breath as well as 2 levels in Liquid Fire. So it's not a fun hero to play up against in a lane. It's pretty damn annoying, especially to melee hero, because you have to get on those creeps to get last hits. You can't just stand back and try something. So every time he comes up to the creep wave, he's going to get Liquid Fired or Dual Breath, one or the other.
Look at DC's logo in base quickly, and then look at the Bounty Hunter's track logo. Doesn't it look nearly the same?
Kind of.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, it does actually. But yeah, I think once this track comes online, they get a few track kills, it's really going to do something great for them, especially, like I said, with the Ursa and the Nugger. It's really going to escalate their farm very nicely.
And they do have a hero to actually burst down with the Ursa.
Oh, but Patos in trouble here. Going to try TP out. Freeze not available. Oof, almost
2 seconds, yeah.
Unfortunately, Call only at level 2, and unfortunately, Frostbite also used almost at the same time, stacking up disables yet again. So, yeah, free TP out.
But looking at the early game at this point, Nick is struggling quite a bit here towards the bottom lane. Stunt's actually getting a nice amount of farm here in the jungle, wrapping around the whole time. But sitting second on the last hits is Tidehunter. So it's 47 and 25 for the Juggernaut, 41 and 2.
I'm kind of worried about this Jug because he's literally just uncontested.
Oh, well, there's actually an engagement here onto the Jakiro. There's the first blood, the ult, the dunk coming through here from Stunt. Now they actually want to turn around and go for more, but they have to be careful. Warlock actually does have his Fatal Bonds off, and it is doing quite a big amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough. He did use Shadow Word there as well, and I think that was to actually heal up.
Fatal Bonds are so strong against this lineup. I mean, you've got three very tanky heroes, and you're just going to completely... I mean, imagine Crystal Maiden getting linked to Ursa as well as Naga and Axe. So she's just going to explode. She's not going to be able to do much.
Yeah. But the first blood did go the way of DC, so rotating the heroes around, making sure the Axe had that level 6 up before the Tide, getting that extra kill, and I mean, it really was something that they needed. Who got the kill there was actually stunned.
This bottom tower is going to go down so damn fast, and they're just going to carry on doing that. I mean, you've got Liquid Fire that's beautiful against taking towers, and then obviously Chaotic Offering when that comes up as well. But I mean, Jakira just does so much to towers; it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, especially with 2 levels up in Liquid Fire. But I mean, it's a bottom tier 1 tower. It does secure your carry's farm a bit, but Ursa, well, going for that Hand of Midas, actually going in for the late game build here. They want to go up. They want to carry this late enough for the Naga to actually come into play here. So, quite interesting.
I am loving Fenrir's build at the moment with with the Ring of Aquila as well as the Magic Wand.
Fenrir might be in a lot of trouble right now. The call actually does not land. They wasted it just a little bit. Fenrir wants to come in. He does have level 8 as well as an Omni Slash, which he's going to use right now, getting a kill, and he unfortunately does drop. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, and Stunt will actually be very happy with that. Look at the amount of gold he actually got after that. He nearly has his Blink Dagger up. So getting that exchange, sure, he managed to get something before he died. So always try and get something before you die, but it's still in favor of DC, in my opinion.
I must say, he was going for the Vanguard initially, decided to opt to go for the Poor Man Shield instead, and now opting to go for that Blink Dagger, looking for those early kills and rotations is going to be the Axe. But, I mean, Vanguard's still really good now, but, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, having this Poor Man Shield up, I think, will be enough.
Yeah, I think it will be enough, yeah. And it definitely, especially with the Blink Dagger, and I think Blink Dagger and Track will be online relatively the same time. So it will benefit them quite a bit. But as I was saying about Phineas' build, I really do like it since, he's got the Quilla and the Magic Stick, and you can't level up stats anymore. So, I mean, even when you could level up stats, you still need that because you can't spin Healing Ward, drop your ulti, and spin out again if you don't have those stats. And a lot of Juggernauts don't tend to do that, at least in pub games they don't. And then they spin, and they don't have enough mana for ulti because they have 0 stat items.
Keep in mind the Magic Wand there as well, giving that 4 attributes to all.
It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of stats. I mean, 4 stats for such a cheap item that gives you 17 charges back. It's really, really good item, especially for early game. Aquila as well, it gives you so much. Also, especially for a Jug, it gives them extra 9 agility stats as well as 3 intelligence, so the mana regen is quite nice. And obviously that 10 damage doesn't hurt either. But yeah, it's just like, for me, it's just a better build, especially for early game. But as we say that, I mean, here's another tower. Just like, they're going to just lose their map if they don't defend this.
I understand, but if they defend, they're going to run into the same thing that they did with game number 1. I do agree with this. They're doing what they can. However, here's a Ravage coming through right now. Neo is there. Crystal Maiden actually dropping. But it's a Ravage for only a CM. Meanwhile, bottom lane is pushing out. Nick's actually finding some farm himself. Stunt will have his Blink Dagger up right now.
Yeah, to be honest, Deathy did actually Ravage for both the CM as well as the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
The Bounty Hunter's invis did unfortunately go off as the Ravage was going up, and they don't have Dust. So I think if they did, one of them had Dust or maybe even a Sentry on him, they could have gotten a second kill there.
I mean, looking at this, there's the Blink Dagger up on the Axe. He's actually busy TPing in right now. Are we going to see any kind of engagements coming through? Bounty Hunter does not have 6 just yet. And sure, they've lost nearly half of their tier 2's HP, but I like what they're doing here a lot more than what they did in game number 1.
I mean, this time they've got a Nugga who's being annoying and split pushing, and she's actually incredibly close to Radiance. She'll have a Radiance.
Oh, there's a Shackle straight onto Ursa as well as the Ice Path. Are we going to see anything? There's the Blink call onto 2 heroes right now. They're still trying to go in. Unfortunately, the Jakiro is just not enough. Nick might be in a lot of trouble. They have not actually managed to do anything. There's no Golem on the Warlock, and there's just a freeze. So no one's actually fallen from this. The Blink Dagger was revealed, but it could have gone either way. The level 6, though, will be up on the Warlock right now. So, there's another Blink call coming in right now. And straight away, just the Fatal Bonds. Unfortunately, the Ice Path does not latch onto anyone. Does not hit them. Now, this is going to be the tier 2 tower falling.
Cloud was lucky there. Very, very lucky. Ooh, Patos.
Oh.
Ooh, that bounty's right on his tail. Unfortunately, not level 6.
The freeze is
yet,
there
but-
on the Tidehunter. Tidehunter, of course, does have mech, which is used right now, but there's the core coming in onto the axe or onto the Tidehunter. Tidehunter does drop eventually. And the power shot actually managing to catch out the Bounty Hunter. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. The
But so
Bounty Hunter.
Santa doing really well. They're getting.
Oh,
Oh
shackles.
no, Jerome. Bye bye, little cuddly crystal maiden. I think you are pretty much done for there. DC Nick, you better get the hell out of Dodge. There is actually no, there's no mana for Shackle, but yeah, I think he's going to be home free. But Santa, on the other hand, I mean, that guy Portal was chasing poor Portals down so well because he had like 20 HP. And Santa's just like, okay, I'll just wait you for the set by the Sentry and wait for you. Dual breath, easy ice path, obviously from the slow, and then the beautiful, beautiful power shot to boot. But I must say, before the tier 2 tower came down there, they did have, unfortunately, missed. Oh, beautiful shackle onto Stuntia. He's just going to be able to TP out, unfortunately.
Oh, that was close.
That was like, that was very close. But yeah, unfortunately, that power shot missing on the Ursa when he had like literally no HP. So there's a blind power shot there for him, for the Ursa. Be able to shrine up and get back into the fight. But, I mean, Cloud's shackle shot's only at level 2, so it's not that much of a disable right now. But we do have Golems, and as well as Ravage up again. Track is also up. But this could be dangerous.
I mean, are we going to see the full proper team fight coming through? Oh, no, wait. Nick actually jumps in, manages to get the kill off onto the Warlock before the Warlock can do anything. And are we going to see... Yeah, there's the Shrine usage at this point. They're actually trying to run away. There's a couple of heroes tracked up right now. And this is what... There you go. That very good shuriken onto 3 heroes. And the Blink Dagger... Where's the axe? The axe is just a little bit too far away. He's still running in, they're trying to go on anyone at this point. Unfortunately, just a little bit too far off. But still managing to pop that Warlock before the team fight could actually start.
Shame. I mean, he was lucky enough to have a haste rune there as well as track, so he's extremely fast. So then, obviously, Warlock just doesn't. I think he like panicked. He's like, "Oh no!" just instead of dropping anything, he just kind of
he gave up on life. Yeah.
He gave up on life, exactly.
But
a quick scan being used there just to scout out the bounty hunts. Unfortunately, no dust yet either. Like, oh wait, there is dust on the Warlock, I believe. Yes.
Well, bounty's out.
Yeah, he's out.
CM's busy farming. Naga's busy farming. DC's playing this a lot better. They might lose a tower now, but they're playing this a lot better than they were.
They really are. They're not falling into the 5-on-5 team fight anymore. But yeah, very good. But I must say that it's going to be hard to face up because when Ravage and Golem, everything's up, you do not want to fight into that until you have BKB essentially. But yeah, it's pretty easy tower, and looks like they're just going to try and get the tier 1 here. And nope. Everyone has TP, but they're not going to go for it. I think they're going to try force the issue, go for the racks, and make them TP back.
Yep, there you go. The TPs are here. It's quite... I don't think that, to be honest...
that early deso on the wind.
Yeah, without that, I would have said that I don't think they would have been able to actually go for axe here. But with that early deso, the problem is it does make her a lot more squishy. Stun actually going in, does not manage to get a good call off. However, there's the Ravage coming through, catching on to 2 heroes. The Shrine is actually used, but there's a Naga ult, and this might just be a call for a re-engage. Is the axe going to position himself ready for a good call? Unfortunately, he was all the way back in base. So the side here of Pulse have to actually be careful because the counter engage opportunity. Oh, shackle onto the Bounty Hunter. So much damage is actually done, and this axe needs a good call. There he goes. Call straight in onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut actually is trying to attack, but he will actually drop. Oh, the dunk. He actually doesn't drop from that. I think that was the mech that actually saved him coming up there. The Ursa is going to be the first one to fall, but the Naga is trying to do as much as possible. Wind Ranger might be in a lot of trouble. He's actually called up, but unfortunately, she is also usable. She is under the Wind Run effect thingy-majiggy, or whatever you want to call it. And that's 3 heroes down. She eventually dies.
Yeah, that level 10 wind run slow is pretty devastating, but unfortunately Stunt, as he did, well, not miss his ulti, but it didn't kill the hero. It was on cooldown for that. It's still on cooldown, so unfortunately couldn't just dunk the wind runner, but she did die.
I have to say that was very well timed. I mean, the Tidehunter saw the dunk coming and then he mech.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that was well played.
Very well timed. But they did take the tier 3, which does open up the shrines to them now, so just a little bit more map control, a little bit more advantage for the side of Pulse here. So
DC should TP in and fight this.
They should, yes. Everything is on cooldown, but unfortunately, so are theirs. And the TPs are literally all on cooldown, except for the Crystal Maiden and the Axe. And I don't think it's enough to face on 4 heroes on the side of Pulse here.
Yeah, without those big ultis coming through, I mean...
Yeah, but you still can't take on 4 heroes.
Bounty Hunter might be in a lot of trouble right now. He's actually dusted up, and he literally ran straight past the Juggernaut that had Shadowblade, but when he got the track off, the Juggernaut was sitting right on top of him, and yeah, that didn't go well at all.
Well, the game might change just a little bit. Naga's almost got her Radiance here, but I must say, well played to the Naga as well. I mean, Maple did a beautiful disengage of that ulti. I mean, that's what I was saying. As soon as those ultis go off, if Naga's there, she can just sleep them and completely disengage a team fight. But as I say that, there's your first lane of Rax.
So first lane of Rax, I actually do like this, that they're not forcing the defense here. They know they can still win this.
I must say, I do like the early Desolator on that Windrunner. Of course, she is a little bit more squishy now because of that. Going for the Aghanim Scepter, of course, she doesn't have that nice initiation with the Blink Dagger, but then again, you do have a Tide as well as Golems. So, I mean, you don't really need to blink in and shackle, but I mean,
all the ultis are up now from Pulse, so they have to, I mean, you know, they can engage. However,
but everyone is trapped, like, except for the Warlock. So, I mean, if they can get a kill here, that's a lot of extra gold.
Yep. And Bounty will just keep on putting that out, keep on throwing his shuriken tosses, and will do a significant amount. However, Fenrir wants to go in. He is Shadowbladed up. No, they're just going to move back into the next shrine. And with one hero that's TP'd out, maybe they can try and defend this, but Wind Ranger's there. Nope. So it's okay. Naga's got Radiance up. It is pre-20 minutes, and
that is pretty massive though for them, because if they do take the shrines, there is no, TPs towards that. It's an easier rush for them as well. They can completely blind that side of the map, take an easy rush without having to worry about the whole side of DC TPing in for that, because the shrine is no longer available to them. They also don't have a tier 2 tower that side, so the best bet is to maybe TP in or walk all the way there with the smoke. But then again, it's just if you have
it's just a pity that they've already lost a lane of Rax, because the Naga's got a good timing on this Radiant. It's not the best, really, but it's still pre-20 minutes, and that's why I say if they can delay this game for another 10 minutes without losing another lane of Rax, I actually feel that DC can pull this back.
I don't think they will, though, to be honest. I think they're just going to try end this game as quickly as humanly possible. Look, they've got very decent late game as well, but I mean, you have a Naga and a Ursa, you always have to worry about that.
Well, let's have a look here. Windrunner going in onto that tier 3 tower. They're trying to look for an opening at this point. Naga, of course, does have her ulti, so she can literally run in with her ulti if they want. Nope, they're actually jumping in, going in straight onto the Ursa. Not onto the Ursa, onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut dropped instantly. Deathy might be in a lot of trouble. All the ultis have actually been popped here from the side of Pulse, and unfortunately, I mean, I literally want to see how much gold, because I think all 3 of those heroes so far have been tracked up, and Tidehunter is just constantly being tracked. He won't actually be able to do anything. He'll be able to remove the track with the Guardian's Greaves in a couple of seconds, but there'll just be another one coming through, and there you go. There's a call. Guardian's Greaves used, another track coming through. Blade Maul's up on the Axe as well, and they don't actually have enough to kill him.
I think he could have dunked. I think he maybe could have dunked there. He was low enough, I believe. But anyway, I mean, still, I mean, they took out the 2 main people on the side of DC.
That was a massive fight.
Yeah, it was a massive fight. And then we have a buyback from the Axe, almost an immediate buyback. But I must say, the star of that show was definitely Jerome on the CM. Beautiful CM ulti. I mean, Blink Dagger on him, 21 minutes in with another 1,200 gold to his name. CM's doing pretty damn well for himself, but yeah, I must say that CM ulti was absolutely beautiful.
Keep in mind, if you are in base and you can't, if you're in base and you can't leave base, which means you can't put wards up because they have a gem, they're constantly de-warding you. You know what? Save all the money and just go in straight for a simple, Blink Dagger, because now all of a sudden you don't have to put up wards. So it is a little bit of.
It's not just that. You can say
wait, Bounty Hunter, what are you doing, dude? Bounty Hunter literally ran into the entire team there without being invis.
But he wants to track people.
You don't have to go on top of him and tickle his head and tell him, listen, I'm tracking you.
I try to make it funny. But yeah, I think Big Dag on CM, I totally agree with you as well. It's really good because she can basically evade every single ulti, blink it at the last moment when everything is dropped, and drop the hammer. But here they go again.
Well, backdoor protection is actually on, and sure, the ulti's onto the melee racks. Unfortunately, backdoor will not land, but there you go. There's another blink in onto the CM right now. CM instantly gets blown up. That's the power of this of the lineup of DC right now. They're backing off, using the shrine, and they're actually going to try and rotate. And CM once again with a huge ultimate coming through. Unfortunately, it's not enough, but Warlock gets dunked. Now they're trying to turn around. They want to go on to Fenrir. Nope, they decide to just they basically go for the squishies, go for the people that attract. That's 4 heroes down once again in exchange for 1. And once again, they did not manage to get the melee racks. Look at that gold. That's a 3,000 gold.
The Windrunner got exploded instantly over there. Poor Warlock got chased down by the Nugger on the side. And then, of course, the Jakiro as well as the Tidehunter. Actually, I think, Tidehunter got chased down on the side by the Nugger. But yeah, beautiful dunks. I mean, Stunt even went for the healing ward as a melee hero. It's like just everything went their way. But I mean, CM coming with another huge, massive ulti.
Yes. What do you think of the Naga's build here, going for an Octarine, queuing up an Octarine before Manta?
I actually quite like it. She's going to gain a lot of HP from these fights. Obviously,
but she needs the Manta to push out the lanes, especially when they're in base.
Yeah, she does. She really does need the Manta to push out lanes, but I think it's also due to the fact that, Octarine Core is going to help her survive a bit more in fights. Stunt now in a little bit of trouble. As blink. There we go. Oh, bad play.
Okay, buddy.
If they have a ward,
buddy, what are you doing? Oh, wait, though. Here's the counter engage. I actually want to go here onto Tidehunter right now. Tidehunter is busy mocking it. He, of course, does have Ravage. This is actually very dangerous if they do manage to counter engage. I think DC has to try and back off. Stunt actually did jump to Juggernaut. Juggernaut might be in a lot of trouble. He does die from that. The shackle does come through. Stunt is shackled onto Nick. However, it's not going to be enough. Now there's the sleep. Are they going to counter engage? Everyone's actually TPing out of this one right now. And yeah, well, they managed to get a kill on the Juggernaut. They don't need to force the issue at that point. I do like this. DC is actually playing this the way that they need to. Nope. CM decides to go in for an ulti, and two ultis get dropped by Pulse.
Hold on. BKB, Ravage, and
Golem.
For Crystal Maiden.
Worth it. Worth it.
Okay.
Completely worth it. GG, well played. CM's won the game. CM,
BKB, I understand, because Cloud would have pretty much died if he didn't do that, but using that amount of ultis for Crystal Maiden,
I think they expected the entire team to jump.
Oh, but they have vision. Okay, they don't have vision.
No, they don't.
They don't. Okay. But still, dude. Okay. Okay, fine.
I actually wish I was on DC's team speak. I would literally, I would probably hear a keyboard smashing saying, "Done, I'm done. Space created, boys. We won," kind of thing.
No, but they did get a rush out of it, so at least they didn't walk away with nothing. But now they need to be careful because there's some long cooldowns on both those ultis.
Well, let's have a look. There's a call coming straight in onto the Wind Ranger. Wind Ranger, of course, so close. Used the Wind Run perfectly in time there. I have to say, very well played. And Bounty Hunter will actually go invis. He has the gems, so he has to be very careful here. Sentry does get popped. Bounty Hunter might be in a lot of trouble. He has to be careful not to run back into the range of the Sentry and drop that gem up again. He will actually get out. Bottom lane is being pushed out by the Naga illusions.
You see, this is my problem with the Windrunner that doesn't have a blink or anything like that. Is that if Cloud had a blink, he could have blinked onto Rush over there and shackled him to a tree instead of wasting shackling him onto nothing. Then they probably could have gotten the kill, but unfortunately just not having it there. I mean, BKB, get it, Crystal Maiden, the Radiance, it helps you with all of that, but I definitely would have gone for the Blink Dagger before. Look, the early Deso did help them quite a bit to take these towers, but I still, Jerome, you're in trouble once again.
Yep. Been following him since he was literally moving them away. For him, though, sure, he's, dying a couple of times. He has 2,300 gold, but keep in mind, though, he is keeping them behind. He's drawing the entire team back, hoping to maybe get another BKB charge off.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe an Omni Slash on 20 HP. That could be worth.
Yep. While Naga's pushing out, while the rest of the team is actually farming up. So, sacrificing himself and sure, it's nice gold for the enemy team to have 220 gold, but I think his team actually gets more from being able to farm up than they have lost. And they're probably going to drop this tier 2 tower while they push out the other lanes, while they actually farm up. DC, this is what they should have done in game number 1.
Definitely.
Sure, they've lost a lot. They've lost a lot, but they have come back. That's what you do up against a team fight draft is you farm up, you get more experience. I mean, look at the net worth. It's 0 at this point.
That's thanks to a bounty hunter. I mean, the bounty hunter pick is really doing them a big favor in terms of gold escalation. But now Cloud going ham on this tower with the Aegis as well as the
there's
BKB.
the smoke. Let's see what kind of initiation we can actually get from this. There's the Axe actually calling back the Windrunner, making sure she doesn't go further on to the tower right now, but she just decides to turn around. Once again, they actually do manage to think they did pop the shrine right there, and the tower is actually used. I mean, I would have thought that they probably would have used the Naga sleep as soon as that BKB, as soon as the BKB is popped.
Yeah, you don't want to use BKB with Aegis. You want to save that BKB for after you die.
Let's have a look here. Is there anything going to come from this? Wind Ranger's on very low HP. I think they should actually jump in here, try and force out anything from her. But the Aegis is still on, and there you go. There's the Aegis actually going to drop, and Warlocks come in, drop the Golem. There's the Ravage. It's a lot of damage coming through, as well as the Macro Pyre. The spins are there, but there's the Sleep coming through now as well. CM is getting a huge ulti off once again. Nick's trying to come in, do a lot of damage, but the Omni Slash is there onto 2 heroes. Unfortunately, it bounces to the poor old CM. Meanwhile, towards the backside of the line, Nick might be in a lot of trouble. He's also dropping. DGP might also fall from this. No, once again, there's no dunk coming through from Axe because the Tidehunter timed his Guardian's Grief so well, but the buybacks are coming through right now. They actually want to do as much damage as possible. Stunt is still spinning away, going crazy. Not done enough, and Nick might actually drop here a second time, I think. And this might actually just be GG's coming through.
Those Cloud Shackles, really, really good. But now the Blade Mail up for Stunt, doing a bit of work.
Yep. Well, Naga still there, still has the Radiance Burn coming through, trying to do as much as possible, but Naga will actually drop from this. 2 bashes needed. And does Naga have buyback? No buyback. GG, well played. Just as we were saying, DC's playing so well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. They could not actually, to be honest, they should have moved in with that Naga ult a lot earlier.
Yeah, they played that draft really, really well. I mean, my hat goes off to Jerome. Those ultis, wow. CM, you played well. But again...
balls to the wall, man. Balls to the wall, CM.
Yeah, but Pulse, again, just with the better draft. I mean, they just got out-drafted again. I mean, if they played DC played their draft really, really well. But, I mean, when you go up against heroes like that, it's inevitable. It really is, unless you really throw the game.
Well, you know, like we said, it's a pity that they lost their first lane of racks pre 20 minutes. Yeah. If I'm at the 21 minute mark, I said if they can survive for 10 minutes, I think they have this. It's just under the 10-minute mark, and they were actually playing so well up until this point. But
Cloud's item choice for that early Desolator really, really worked out for them. They took the towers pretty damn fast with that. So, I mean, very, very well.
I think the Manta would have... Yeah, the Manta on the Naga would have been a lot better because she couldn't even finish her Octarine.
Yeah, it was a bit greedy to go for Octarine. Look, it is a good item, but I agree with you. You need to go for that Manta first, especially if you want to split push or have more of an impact in team fights. Yeah. There was no Maelstrom or anything like that available. So, I mean, Illusions would have been a bit harder to come down. She could have harassed the lanes out, stopped them from pushing so damn hard. So definitely something she could have done there.
If you're ahead with a Naga, go Octarine, by all means. Yeah. If you're even with a Naga, go Octarine, but not when you're behind.
Look, DC played exceptionally well. I mean, I did not expect them to do that well against that draft, and they really outdid my expectations. But I mean, unfortunately, they just got out-drafted, and I mean, very well played to Pulse. They really did. I mean, the game 1 was exceptional. Game 2, they struggled a little bit against DC, but I mean, if you got a better draft, 60% of the game is the draft. So if you've got the better draft and you've got the skill to back it up, and you make the right decisions, right item choices, game's yours.
Definitely. So guys, on that note, congratulations to Pulse. I think Pulse will be heading into the semi-final. Or just on to the next round?
Well, we'll see who they face up against tonight, because tonight we have Veneration versus Mythic, DC versus Pulse, and Sinister 5 All Stars versus APG. So we have, I believe, Pulse will face up against Sinister 5 or APG. And then because they're all these four teams are in the lower brackets. In the upper brackets, VNR versus Mythic. So I believe the winners of tonight will face up against the winners, the other lower bracket winners. So they all Pulse Reborn.
So that will basically be like your winner bracket finals.
Yeah. So Pulse Reborn will either face Sinister 5 or APG, and then those winners will face either Mythic or Veneration, depending on who won or lost tonight on their side. But remember, Mythic or Veneration will go down to the loser bracket after tonight, whoever loses that game.
So it's the loser bracket semi-final that Pulse will face, and then they select the loser bracket final to also face. So it's still a tough climb for the guys from Pulse.
Yeah.
But looking at their composure and how they actually played, stuck to their guns, forced DC to play their game, their play style, their draft. Congratulations to Pulse, and I look forward to them playing again.
Yeah, well, tomorrow night we'll have the upper bracket final, which I believe is the Veneration versus Mythic game. And then the lower bracket finals will happen on the 11th as well as the 12th. And then we'll have a new cup to deal with, because then it's going to be the finals. Because remember, this cup goes all the way till the 16th of April. So I think after that we'll decide who's going to be facing who, and then we'll have the second community shield. But yeah, as for this week, it's going to be basically the tomorrow night. The 10th of April, we'll have the upper bracket final, and then on Tuesday we'll have the lower bracket final, as well as Wednesday the 12th, and the other lower bracket final. So some very good, exciting games coming up. But so far in the competition, we have VNR, Mythic, DC, Pulse, Sinister 5, APG. We are going to be saying goodbye to two of these teams tonight. Now we say goodbye to DC. And
goodbye, DC.
We don't know. I don't know who won the APG versus Sinister 5 game, but I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon.
Well, guys, on that note, thanks so much for letting me cast with you, Succubus. It was fun as always. I'm Reddit. Succubus, give a last shout out to anyone that you want to give a shout out to.
I'll give a shout out to my boy Jabbo, who isn't here at the moment. He's with family. I'll give a shout out to Mr.
It's fine. You upgraded.
XL.
You upgraded.
And the puntastic week man of the year, we have Christopher House, aka Sargon. I'll give a shout out to him as well.
Okay. He definitely needs one.
Well, basically, shout out to everyone who's just sitting here watching, supporting us, the local esports. Thanks for everything, guys.
Sweet. On that note, we'll check you guys. I might be casting with Succubus a bit more in the upcoming week or two. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thought about this too much. What's there left to say? Throw your stones the river. Like me, it drifts away. I would watch you stare. I would watch you stare. Oh, but there's no one there. We can figure this out. Put your feet down. We are the lucky ones. Swallow your choice, it's done. never let go, never let go. Ooh, we never let go. We can figure this out. Put your feet down. We are the lucky ones. Swallow your choice instead. Terrified of what's left remains unsaid until you break my mind. Until you break my thought. Until you break my thought. These sticks and stones will break. They will break, they will break, they will break. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. No, no.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out.